Welcome everyone to another RGL cast. My name is Jared. I'm here at Space Ghost to bring you guys 20ZC versus Leica G6. This is RGL Invite 6, Season 10, Week 2B and 6A, as we got some catching up to do as the season wraps up slowly and slowly. As 20ZC and G6, earlier on in the season, they didn't play their first match, had to shove it to the side, wait till a later date, and decided that a doubleheader is going to be the way to go. So it's going to be a jam-packed night of what is probably one of the more sought after matches I think people have been wanting to see. So it's definitely going to be quite the fight tonight. At the end of the day, only one team will be able to claim the top seed, and there'll maybe be some other implications on how shaky second seed is as well, depending on how things end up tonight, Space.
Yeah, definitely in for the long haul tonight with a double header between 20ZC and Leica G6. Long-awaited matchup, and I believe this is the first time we are seeing it this season, considering we're in a double header. And yeah, definitely a lot of playoff implications could be had for seeding here, depending on what happens. But two matches means we saw earlier in the season with Froyo. You have a double header and you're not feeling too well that day, you could very easily lose both matches. And Froyo's sitting currently at 4th seed because of it.
Yeah. It's probably important before we get too deep into discussions, especially since this is going to be a really important match for both these teams to figure out who their ultimate playoff, matches are going to be up against. But for the players as well, for their predictions and figuring out how hyped tonight's going to be, we should probably go with the rosters because there is a long-term roster change, which is going to throw you for a loop just a tad. We'll go ahead and talk about. Here, I'll let you go over the roster change. We'll start with G6 and it's bot mode and Caps on Scout, Soapy and Kobe on Soldier, Logan on Demo, and Logai on Medic.
And for 20ZC, we have Brandslam and Howard on Scout, Ash and Artist on Soldier, Jay on Demo, and Zilly on Medic. And yeah, apparently this is a fresh off the grapevine. I don't know if I've heard this report anywhere. It is Howard actually is the main scout, flank scout now, or I guess he's in pocket scout for 20ZC now. High Five stepping down for whatever reason means that Howard is now in as their pocket scout. Howard, I think we saw him ringing earlier this season, and I said multiple times that Howard's a very good ringer and very good player in general. Definitely, I think if there's not that many players that can substitute for High Five easily, but I think Howard definitely could be one of them.
Yeah, we saw him sub in when High Five wasn't there, that one Viaduct match they played. Who knows, maybe that was even when the switch really started to begin. And he definitely proved his worth, although it was a bit interesting the way their team dynamic kind of shifted. They even talked about it in the post-game interviews on how, Brandslam, normally a combo scout player, was playing flank this season just because Hi-Fi was taking the beam. But, with the addition of Howard, shaking things up, they could go back to how they played that Viaduct match if they really wanted to. They could put Brandslam back on the combo, off flank, back to his roots, put Howard on the flank, or just, fill in the slot where it was emptied. So we'll have to see what they ultimately decide to do, not only for this match, but for the future, as obviously things can change over time, especially when you see the final result tonight. But that's something that normally happens with their roster.
Hey, you need to go raw body there. It's like you dropped some packets, but
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, but it seems fine now. Yeah. So for the match tonight, we are going to have Process and Metalworks. I believe this is our first Metalworks cast of the season. Process, very familiar. Seen it multiple times this season. Seen a lot of last pushes this season. But yeah, going into Process as the G6 pick, that makes sense. But how do you feel about the 20ZC Metalworks pick? Because we haven't really seen much of Metalworks, at least on stream, so far this season.
Most of the time, I feel like Metalworks instills a lot of either two things.
Oh, was the Fryo match in Metalworks? I didn't cast that one. The reverse
Actually,
sweep.
Oh yeah, the reverse sweep. Yeah, it was Metalworks.
Yeah, the reverse sweep. I wasn't there for that.
Usually, picking Metalworks is one of two things. Either one, you feel like that your team is going to be able to thrive better, slowing the game down, and this is one of the better maps to actually force that. So you just compare the matchups. If a team that you're up against isn't able to play as good when things are slowing down and not as chaotic, then this is where this is where you could bring it. Or it's just a straight up mid fight thing. As much as there are unique aspects of Metalworks that can be looked at and gone through, don't really get to play it as always if you kind of just don't even get to win the mids. So there might be some mid-fight confidence there. Or it could just be, hey, you scrimmed Metalworks a couple times throughout the season, don't really think of their teams that good at it, or maybe we can hard counter what they're bringing to the table. So usually it's not just like I guess this is fine. It's usually there's some sort of confidence, I would imagine, with most teams. So, we'll have to see. I'm kind of curious what G6 is going to bring to the table with that being the pick. Process, I'm sure both these teams are without a doubt, like, totally fine that it's process.
Yeah, process. We've seen it played. I think we've seen both teams on process at various points in the season. Both teams familiar with it. It's process. Everyone's familiar with it. I played it a billion times.
Baby's first map.
Yeah, BB's first map, along with like Snakewater and Gully. It's like the first. It's like the first couple maps you see. Maybe a little sunshine in there, but going into this match and going to a doubleheader against the same team, it was one thing when Freo had the doubleheader because it was against two different teams, so they had different things. But going into I feel like it's not. I don't know if risky is the optimal word, but like going to a doubleheader against the same team, A, makes it feel a little bit like a playoff match, and B, it also makes it feel like if you lose the first map badly, I feel like that could be pretty disastrous for your mental.
Yeah, it's kind of the playoff match mental check where you finally have to play multiple maps in a row that actually mean something. Like, obviously, you do that in scrims and stuff, but those results don't matter. But it begins the check where if you lose, do you have the capacity to put it behind you and kind of, say, oh, it's whatever, we'll take the next one. And realistically, we say that is a factor and it is true, but with teams' experiences these, that's likely not really going to come into play since it's not going to be their first rodeo, whether it be double headers or switching maps or being in a losing position and then trying to come back from that and not break, and then even disastrous things like picking a map confidently and then losing it and having to play seriously right afterwards. So um, I guess technically there's a chance that that could come into play, although we wouldn't be able to really see that aspect, but it probably won't happen regardless. But what will happen is there will be a victor and there will be a loser as the predictions start to roll out for the first map of process between these two teams. We could talk a little bit about process because it is, the map played tonight, but it's so, we always talk about this map. It's, what else more is there to say? I'm more curious about what you think is going to be happening as the final result of the match tonight, Space. We see
Seeing a lot of fives in the chat.
Are we going to 5 rounds, though, is the question. That's the thing with this config, is like, yeah, you could think a certain team's going to win, but do you actually think that they're going to get to 5 in 30 minutes? Or
I don't know. With how I've seen teams struggle pushing last, granted, I feel like teams might have better strategies or, have better things going into it, but considering just how it's been this season, I don't think we're going to 5 rounds just because I've seen so many just like, not inept, but just disastrous last pushes over and over and over again. It's mentally broken me, and I do not expect to see 5 rounds unless one team is particularly bad or good at holding last. So, in either case, I think it's going to be interesting. In terms of predictions, I'm kind of leaning towards, actually leaning slightly towards G6, but not by much.
yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as we are going live. I know Zilly stated that he thought that G6 was the best team, although I do respect 20ZC all the same, so I'll say something along the lines of a 4-3 in favor of G6, but we'll not have to wait too much longer. Actually, never mind. As soon as I say we don't have to wait too much longer, there is a pause mid-rollout. Of course, it's 90 seconds in the future. It's not right now, so there is actual potential gameplay going on, but fingers crossed it's not something super major, because a medic surviving the mid and then crashing would be disastrous. But we'll see what the end result is. It's obviously an attack.
Probably they just reset the config. It's so early. I feel like unless one team wins the mid really hard.
Well, remember it's 90 seconds in the future,
yeah, so
saying,
like
a team might have no, we won mid so hard. This round should be free. Why do we have to give it up?
Yeah, it could also. I feel like if the mid is a wash, they would have just reset. So somebody probably won the mid part. And speaking of which, I'm looking at both demos, and Jay was a lot faster to mid than Logan, but he was also a lot more hurt. So we'll see. Jay is going to be actually kind of hurt here. Going to stand still for a boat. Going to get it as both teams pretty quickly taking that high ground, but not too much happening. No one's really doing any bombs or fake bombs yet. Just trying to spam. Both Blue Scouts on the high ground, actually getting a lot of pressure. They're very far forward. Going to get kind of bombed by Kobe, but their positioning isn't super bad. As here we do see our first actual bomb, and bot mode's going to fall.
Yeah, Power's in the thick of it as well, and will eventually fall. They're trading lives all over the place. Overall 4v4 fight for the remaining players. There's some high ground for the side of G6, but it's being very quickly lost. But it doesn't really matter that much. The health on 20ZC is actually not that great. And Logan jumping forward, he thought that it all was one, and Jay's just it. He sees that demo frag, he gets the arrow, will survive. Arts wants one now as well, but G6 are still getting the cap time. They're still trying to hold on, but a nice shot from Kobe, nailing Artist out of the sky with that wall shot on Ash. He's stuck in no man's land, just out in the concrete, almost gets the arrow down, is trying to just escape, but no, will get chipped down across the map from the side of Caps, and the Blue Scouts, they've shown up after respawning and they're just immediately red health upon entry, getting cleaned up inside the sewer. The rest getting chased down as you see they're on their last legs. They should have potentially won this off the player out, but they're just bleeding, and the rest of G6 squad is running forward after getting this cap. They have Branson pretty low, trying to get more space at the soldiers. Uber will finally get popped from the blue team. Too much pressure. Will eventually. Logan might get caught. He's trying to sneak him away, but will get blasted back and will die with his own explosion trying to escape. So they will get that, but this is where the pause went through. So I don't think anything happened.
Oh, Zilly mic don't work. Okay, so Zilly's mic wasn't working. Maybe explains a bit of what was happening going on there. But yeah, 20cc, they didn't lose that mid hard. They slowly just bled out and just got pressured out by G6. And speaking of pressure, G6 already in. They have Uber at 20cc. Gonna see if they can get a force or get something to happen. Both soldiers going forward and actually going to get Artist. So 20cc, that was kind of their somewhat of a sack. They managed to buy enough time to get 70%, but G6 is already streaming their way into lobby. Want to go in? Well, they just have the small 20% ad. They already have a gun up, and the stinkies are still on the point. They want these kills, but there are no kills coming quite yet. Zilly is going to die, though. Huge plays from Kobe.
97% Uber. That could have been enough to save him, but just caught in nest, shot in the ceiling. Only Artist left alive, and that's not enough fuel in the tank to be able to block that. G6 taking that last point, not even losing anyone in the process. So really good job cleaning that up, and you know, it was almost a really bad situation, but you know, Zilly almost getting, but at the end of the day, cleaning it up and leading the game 1-0.
Yeah, chasing those kills there, like, again, 97% is so close. That just, like, if they could have blocked second for maybe 1 or 2 more seconds, they could have maybe held that, but, you know, that's all in the past now, as it's going to be 1-0 for G6, as, sending them to their mid here. I already can see Jay's doing a pretty good damage to the scouts. Bombo actually getting pretty nuked on the high ground. Got to back up, and he's going to be the first to fall. Jay hitting those high stinkies as Kobe's going to get pressured out next, and Jay's just going in.
Yeah, some really good job from the side of 20cc. They got the spam up on the high ground and immediately launched themselves forward and be able to get the kill. And Logan almost dead, but it's going to be Caps that dies the spam from the soldiers of Artist, and maybe a little bit elsewhere, but the assist didn't show up. But either way, no scout for G6. I mean, they're still kind of showing presence, spamming just a tad, but 20cc, they recognize this second point is pretty much theirs to take. Leave Howard to cap, everyone else streaming forward and locking this down. The one saving grace for the side of G6 is have Low Guy who does have 100%, ate a little bit of spam on his way out, but it's a-okay. But 20cc had a pretty good spot. You know, it's not for free, but they are able to at least take some presence in lobby to begin the breaking of the stalemate.
Already a level 2 up as I see a sad soldier. Actually, a sad soldier and a sad scout as Howard and Ash gonna pretty much die before the sack even really starts. And look at G6, they're getting very aggressive. Sophie's already in. Wait, oh, Grand Slam. Oh my God, he lives. I saw him go straight up into the air, and I thought for sure he was a goner, but he manages to live there somehow. And that could have been disastrous for Brand Slam, at least getting a frag videoed, but is able to, you know, salvage his pride and his life and able to live in. Now we're settling into the stalemate, and it looks like we do have Howard Sniper, and Howard's pretty good at Sniper.
Well, yeah, we saw his prowess on VOD. It definitely did work for his team, but what will happen in a 5TP scenario where it might be a little bit easier to kind of lock the sniper down, have to work him in slowly but surely, but they only have so much time, so I wonder how long it's going to take before the hero shots begin. Is starting to peek, poke through one. I'm not sure if they saw him yet, but I'm sure as
I think they know.
Poke around here, takes a couple shots, they're definitely going to know soon if they don't already, so. Loppy presence taken by the side of 20cc. Just trying to find extra room for Howard if possible. The first shot will ring out onto Caps. Not a spamming class, but definitely will do some work for them to make sure that they can hold on to lobby even more so as the door holds begin to weaken. Artist is actually getting some spam on the wall. I dropped him pretty low. Ransom tried to make some space.
Hey, look at Kobe. Kobe, he's in a position to maybe flank, kind of half health. Sophie's actually going to go there and give him support as no aggressive plays from the side of G6. They're going to back up. Caps is going to respawn. Howard's still on Sniper, and 20cc seems alright with playing the slow game here, playing off Howard Sniper. He did get a pick, so they know he's going to be hitting his shots, but Process Last can be tough to try to get that opening pick in because you can hold so close to all the doors, and the angles can be tight. You might be forced into some hero shots soon, but it is possible to get the opening picks, but it requires kind of them peeking the doors for you.
Yeah, you only have so much time. Gets a shot on Logan, taking some damage, but it's going to be Branson that actually dies to the Soldier of Kobe. So red team on the move. They see some extra movement to be able to try to push them out, and they got some damage onto Jay and Artist, I think, but not quite enough. The sack finally come in, body blocked Sophie. Got a lot of damage on Ash, but not quite enough onto Zilly. We'll go ahead and back up, eat that pack, and be A-okay. G6 are getting a little more every single time they do their counter sacks, and the good news for them is even if they end up failing, as long as they can have an iron hold on this last, it'll reset to a mid, and they will be out of the last hold prison. So 20ZC, you know, they're past the halfway point. They're starting to make some move through one, different doorway, got some spam, but it's gonna lose Artist. It didn't even need Oriole to take out Kobe, and Ash unable to escape as well, so I mean, valiant effort to try to go for something different, but now you're stuck on 2 with a sniper as well.
Defensive sniper on 2 is kind of sick, though.
True, but I mean, not really that great at defending against the people holding 4. They have a lot of moves. They're going to be able to hit Kobe. That's something. And Sophie, he's in as well. Not going to really find too much. Tons and tons of damage once again from G6 on the 20ZC with these counter sacks. They get tons of space as well, but it's not quite enough to actually find their marks. So now 20ZC is in a prime position to push in through 1.
Brant's just in.
They're kind of meeting them just a tad. Artist really weak.
Oh, Jay gonna flash it, trying to get through the door, and Zilly's gonna get forced, but they're gonna drop Brand Slam. It's just Zilly. They actually lost everyone except for Howard, the sole survivor on Sniper. Actually, I can respect Lokai there. Pops just seeing an Uber Sniper. Those of us dropping there, and that is a full wipe for 20ZC.
They were so unsure how they exactly wanted to play that. The pace. Are you going in and immediately going for a trade? Are you trying to play it slow, just buy time for someone else to go in? I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to bite them as the 2, well, I guess Howard will respawn as whatever, but Zilly dying as last is going to make this Uber disad even bigger. So it's not just slight, it's enough where maybe you can start poking a bit early, and they're starting to get some information. Caps speaking of the choke, I think 20CC recognize they got to play at least a little bit far back to make sure they can get this Uber in time, but there's some space being made, but oh, Ash, that is not where he wanted to land, and that he will pay with his life. Nice shot on Artist though.
That was close. Oh, he's gonna just crater from the damage, so both soldiers dead for not really that much gain as G6, again, they're streaming Caps is already in last.
Yeah, just constantly getting info. They have so much knowledge on how they need to push this. I think they see the sniper already, immediately popping through to make sure that body shot is going to to nothing, and the cap time. They didn't really have that many J stickies on top of it. He actually gets launched over towards Logan, but will get cleaned up. Flash will save him. Logan's on a 7th here right now. They finally jump towards the point. Kobe gets the final bit of cap time, and the after round kills. G6, they go from last to last in a pretty convincing fashion to start the lead as 2-0.
G6 is rolling these second to last transitions so fast. Like, by the time this gets capping, they already have players in last actively peeking, and I don't think 20ZC are really ready for this level of aggression just into last, you know, from second. Like, they're not even really cleared. They're just full sending going into lobby. Is that Ash? Artist and Jay actually could be pretty hurt. Gonna get healed up, but actually, there's a fair amount of red players hurt too. Logai can eat a little bit of spam as no one's bombed yet, but the spam is being traded back and forth. Health being a little bit better now.
And Jay's a bit weak. Getting arrowed up as high control is being traded back and forth just a tad. No one's really gone super aggressive, except Ash now has finally gone into the opposing ID. Bobo has chased back to fight him, but will be unsuccessful cleaning that kill. Now Kobe's trying to help him clean up the kill. Will be able to get the fall damage on to make sure that's cleaned up. But the rest of G6, they're caught at no man's land. Nice wall shot from Artist on a cap, able to clean up that kill. Howard gonna fall. Artist backing up for an arrow. Maybe an ambush onto Jay. They will eventually trade. Sophie getting that kill into Uber, getting forced by the slide of Lolgai. Trying to full send it to Sophie, but will not be able to find Zilly. A-okay with that Uber held on top of the point as G6. I mean, they got a small amount of presence, but realistically, this is a lost point. I mean, they're kind of...
Oh, they got bomb mode coming. It's going to be a 4v3.
I mean, they're hanging around just a tad.
They have a brief window here.
Yeah, there is a really small window. I kind of thought that they would have more presence for EZC, but oh, there we go. Uber comes through, bot mode killed. Brandstorm running forward, trying to get Logan, just kind of ignoring Kobe behind.
He gets bowed. Huge from Lolgai there.
Oh, popped up into the air. Kobe, though, he hasn't died the whole time. He almost got the melee kill on Zilly. I guess Zilly wasn't that low, but still extra spooky. As overall 2 kills for an Uber. That's fine. 20CC has a lot of room to work with, and actually, I mean, Ash might be in a bit too early now. Team's coming already.
I don't think they expected that.
Yeah, they were already really far back, expecting much more aggression. Speaking of aggression, Brandslam in lobby, gonna find Toby Meister alone, but will get cleaned up as the G6 squad has arrived. And they actually want to use this Uber
G6 want to go in. Look how deep they're going in. They actually managed to block the point. That's a heads-up play. Howard gonna fall on the back line, and Logan's just in mid. He's trying to kill. Can he get Zilly? He does manage to get Zilly. Can he get Jay as well? Jay runs at him and is gonna be able to get the trade kill. And that's pretty much a wipe other than Ash, who's just a spawner. So huge plays there from Logan, sacrificing his life, but getting the demo and medic kill.
Yeah, seems a bit disjointed for the side of 20ZC. I think they knew the Uber was coming, obviously, but definitely did not spot the upper IT push. They got so deep with that, and it was just Logan all the way through the choke, be able to clean up those kills by himself with a couple spare behind that didn't really result to too much, so not really going to be fruitful for the side of 20cc in that defense. Is G6 able to take control of mid, and they still have an ad after all said and done, despite you know, everything that went down. It's not big, but it is technically usable if they so desire, although they do have a slight lead and they might want to take things slower, so we'll see. Definitely not going to be a slow push. If anything, it's going to be a straight pop through.
There's a
and look
sniper.
at Logan. Logan wants to 8-man sticky this or something.
Yeah, like,
there you go.
20cc expected this because there's a sniper, and they pop so early, actually, the sniper's gonna do anything, but it's a nuke from Logan! That's a 3K with pipes!
More
Oh my
stickies, more power.
god. Oh my god.
Unspeakable.
That
Ash
was...
is trying to salvage. Branson will fall. Ash, yeah, that, I mean, realistically, it's unnecessary to have that many stickies, but the speed, he was just a bullet streaming through the air, able to collect, what was that, 3?
That was
all
3.
inside each other's models in the shutter, taking them down. That was crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the full 8 sticky, just full send, and rare to see, but that time I think we might be seeing more of those at this rate. Dear lord.
Yeah, we talked about the mental check that happened in between maps potentially losing, and I have to mental check mid-game. That's going to be a tall order for the side of 20cc as they got to shape up, starting with the mid, trying to get control of the map. They're getting some high ground, but it might be retaken by the side of G6. Logan is spamming upward, Jay challenging as well. Logan's actually getting pretty weak, so there's some breathing room for the side of 20cc, actually able to take down Caps, which is a great move for them. Kobe eats up an arrow, is not really in good position to bomb, and Jay was actually soaring through the air for a minute there, I think, maybe.
Logan might be caught in sewer here. There's a lot of players by sewer, actually. Blue Soldier jumping pretty deep, directing bot mode, so there's so many hurt players on red. The question is getting too. Look at Ash, he's just running.
Ash is still in. They don't even know where he is. Is he gonna get out? He got out through IT. What a madman.
The invisible man.
He's just landing around.
He's literally just, I think he ran out of ammo or something too, and just, alright, they got,
Holy
Jay
Artist.
dies, but he gets, Artist is still behind it, they get the force. Zilly doesn't have Uber quite yet, he doesn't manage to get 100%, and let's see if he actually has to use here. Look, bot mode's in behind, just buying space. Artist got low in the background.
Never cleaned up.
What is happening?
He was just chilling in one forever, just waiting for things, biding his time, and they were so focused on trying to make sure that Zilly was going to eventually pop that they didn't check behind them. Sophie peeking in, gonna die, same with Logan, but will survive this time as G6. I mean, the tables have turned. 20cc, we just said that he need to shape up a tad, and they definitely proved it here. They have some fuel left in the tank to keep this going. The question is, will they be able to take this decently sized advantage and turn it into a round? They're taking a lobby. They got their soldiers here. They're not even buffing up though. They're immediately going in towards the gun, locking them out, getting some damage.
There's a lot of players in spawn, actually.
Rotating to the left side of the point, trying to chase his soldier. It is able to clean up Kobe as they baited some people over to the point. Bot mode falling. Ash maybe giving his life to make sure there's extra damage as they continue to stroll through. Logan, the one man left standing, trying to frag them all, but is not enough presence to prevent 20cc from clawing their way back just a tad, making the game 3-1 in G6's favor.
I think G6 just got vibe checked. Like, after that 3K with the pipes, like, they were probably feeling pretty good about themselves, and I think 20cc did a good job coming back there and saying, no, you know, we're not gonna go down that easy. You know, that's, you got one off on us, but we still got to work for the rest of the rounds. We're at halfway through the total time for the map, and it's a 3-1 currently for G6's. Settling into this mid, we're gonna see some spam going back and forth, but again, nothing super committing again, as actually Sophie does go in, got on the high ground, and we see a lot of red presence on the high ground.
Yeah, 20cc, I don't know if they are baiting the high ground presence or what. This mid kind of playing passive and hoping that a soldier would go really deep, but I don't think there was a single moment where I saw a scout get on top of the crate, and it definitely kind of fit them. Jay's 3 HP. He might die to... Oh, he barely lived through that. Got an arrow as well, but the chase is on. No soldiers means tons and tons of room for the side of G6. Just streaming through, and yeah, 20cc know that is too much for them to deal with right now. Is back to last they go. Got Howard on sniper. Maybe a gun, depending on how they want to hold this. I can only imagine they probably want to wait until the first sack comes through. As light comes through now.
Almost got Sophie. Sophie living with 20 HP. Gonna look at, there's a lot of hurt players here. Jay knows now what G6's plan is. He's gonna Logan actually gonna fall very low. There's a lot of hurt players on red, but they're gonna get salvaged. But that did buy space for Jay. He's leaving lobby, just running around like a madman. Is gonna have to back up to last. Howard still on sniper is kind of the, I guess, security blanket sniper, just making sure nobody can run in. And yeah, we're gonna settle into last stalemate. Sophie gonna go in for the sack. He gets the drop. That's a rocket.
Speed shot.
That was a tier 6 jump I've ever seen. It speed shotting directly into Zilly's model, hitting the 2 rocket. I don't think Zilly saw that coming at all.
I don't think so either. Literally from across the map. Probably not even looking at that doorway. This is usually not a giant threat there when you know it's just 2 soldiers up, but not when it's Sophie. So overall, Uber coming in from the side of G6, they just gained from dropping Zilly earlier as they got so much cap time right that times 4. They're able to bomb forward. having Ash go and potentially give up his life, but they got so much cap time so quick. Pretty clean from the side of G6 with that last push, turning things around, and they could close it out here depending on how the mid goes. They're 4-1 right now.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I've seen a lot of the highlight reels so far from G6. I feel like 20cc stuck around, but they're using this pretty thoroughly. They had one kind of like oopsie round for G6, but other than that, they've been looking very dominant, I would say. Actually, this Blue Soldier Prince immediately gonna eat a sticky just heading into mid, and actually, look at Howard. Howard's very aggressive on the right side. Sophie bombing. He's actually just going straight across mid as, again, nobody really on the high ground, although Jace is bombing.
Yeah, I think they kind of realize that this mid is almost lost. They're trying to at least kill Lolgai. If you're going to lose the mid, at least make sure the enemy medic is dead, but no, Lolgai starts into the choke,
like 5
and
times.
it just brands him and Zilly. I mean, Zilly is maybe trying to clean up one before he dies, but no, just Killbinds recognize it's all over. And yeah, G6, they're having some new problems dealing with anyone on top of the high ground that G6 kind of puts there. I think Jay is probably a bit overwhelmed, isn't able to help clean things up, and it's just creating a giant domino effect.
Yeah, there was, like, the damage was there for 20cc that mid. There's a lot of hurt red players, but they just were unable to, like, get the cleanup kills. You know, I think Argus got bowed like 5 times by Zilly that mid. You know, the help was definitely there, the damage was there, but they just couldn't get the cleanup, and got able to keep his team alive. And so far, you know, everything I said about the process last has been wrong so far, as these last pushes for G6 have been very, very fruitful, as speaking of which, we're gonna head to maybe our last push of the match. Although there's no kills yet, they do get the sentry and no point time. They're actually going for the collapse. Zilly, he's still alive, but just barely. Logan's on the high ground. Can he get anything done? If this is a disaster for G6, maybe I just reverse jinxed myself, as that was a pretty unfortunate last push for G6.
Yeah, they went for a really fast pinch play, trying to make sure they focus on frag rather than leading people towards them with the cap time. But it seems like their timing was just a bit off. Ended up almost feeding to a degree, and you know, just 1 more second, maybe 2, and then things could have been different. But
Howard just got like sent it. If he
going
lives,
through IT, he's 1 HP. That's all you need, I guess, to survive. No hit scans really arrived, and
he's shooting him.
Still here. He's still alive. He's able to take the pack, and is A-okay. Going to be able to trade overall over in the choke, but. Yeah, 20cc, they've made great strides this round, going straight to last, but then back retaking mid, and they have had to go ahead and use. I don't think they want to pop this immediately. Oh no, never mind. Here comes Jay, running through. Actually, bombing is more accurate, able to take down caps, so no more scout speed, but through the shutter, G6 is A-okay, giving up the 1. Actually, 2, as Kobe ends up dying as well in lobby. That's actually enough for 20cc to start poking around. Loy doesn't have whoever
Logan tries to stuff the door and is just getting walked at by a scout.
Oh,
he is making a mention lift, but they're through the doors already. Artist buying some space, and it's just Brandsled in right now. They need more players in it. Here comes the reinforcements, as they're just on the point. They do manage to get the Uber, and they're going to try to scatter. Zilly is going to fall, but we'll have to see here. Is that Bomba? Did he bite off a little more? Did he get you? It's okay. They are actually going to get him. Jay. Okay, it's on Jay.
Yeah, 20cc, they full committed there. They probably expected, like, yeah, I mean, they're going to have Uber, but surely we have enough time to, like, start baiting the point and stuff. But I think maybe 10%, 15, 20, calculation's just a bit off, as Billy was really, really deep. And, you know, not enough room for the side of 20cc to scatter around and avoid that Uber. Getting cleaned up, and we talked about how 20cc was doing a pretty good job. They went away from the last, up to 2 all the way, to kind of turning things around the way G6 did earlier, last to last, but just the tail end of things, you know, gonna get stifled just a tad. G6 retaking mid. Now shoes on the other foot, back to their dominant position they've shown so far this match, with a decent ad, definitely usable, as they're in the choke, and they're starting to poke around early, maybe taking it for free, depending on how things go, trying to make some space. Gonna have, actually no, never mind. Yeah, there's pop.
Here comes Logan again. I think they know this time. They're already out, as just gonna be Artist, gonna be the one real death here. Sophie also gonna fall. Actually, Howard's still in, and Jay gets a kill on a cap, means that 20cc have a huge opportunity here to go. And Kobe can be doing a lot of damage to the players coming out of lobby, but they didn't even get. They got a little bit of cap time, you know, like half the cap time. But G6 already out and on mid, and with 70% disad. We'll see here. Actually, bot mode.
Yeah, I might be able to get a sneaky 1v1.
Yeah,
okay, it's going to be a 1v2 really quickly, but what's happening with the combo? There is some pressure, Solar bombing in, recognizing people went back for bot mode. Silly popped into the air, 100 HP. A lot of carnage happening over by the blue crate side. Brandstam will fall, so Pocket Scout down for the side of 20C. I think he's been leading the charge with a lot of the beam here, but they do have Howard in tow if they do want to go aggressive. They're getting some cap time. They know they still have a giant ad, so you can get the cap, slow things down, maybe still go for really fast Uber if you so desire, but there is
like
now
they
a
do.
sniper
Howard
on
just
the field.
Yeah, Howard just in bot mode. We'll have to see if he gets spotted. He hasn't. He's just finishing rolling out. We do have a blue soldier up in the skybox. Bot mode is going to hear roll. Zilly actually crosses. I don't know if he got body shot or what, but he's very hurt in this corner. He's probably got to use to get it, I would guess. Blue soldier bombing, making space. Kobe's behind IT, maybe creating some chaos. It's actually going to be Red who pops first. Blue still hasn't used.
Yeah, Howard got a really nice force, and Logan jumping behind to escape this here with a lot of confidence that G6 will be able to survive this. Ultimately a trade. Weird post, and maybe this might be fruitful. Logan bombing in. He's on top. Is Zilly able to clean up the frags? Just Jay left alive. Holy confidence. The
Wait,
sword
he got the
kill
sword.
on the bottom mode, but Logan kills himself. And Jay with the added health. As well, it's just Logan left alive. He can't even heal anyone. This ad that could have been ginormous. It just kind of that was
Jay's having a good old time. Jay's, you can tell, like, I like how Jay, whenever we interview him, he's always like, yeah, I'm enjoying him. I feel like I understand the class. And I just see him running around, and it's like he's just having the time of his life on demo. You know, he's doing things I don't really see demo mains do that often.
Yeah, step one, have fun.
True.
And then step two is whatever comes next. As we'll have to see what happens. I don't think teams are really going to push unless they are really, really confident, because both teams have a lot of people rolling out. Maybe a sporadic dry once you have your squad here, but G6 looks like they're just lining up to use their ad as normally. They got 90% poking around, starting to peek through early. Not going to pop through right yet, but Caps eating the trap on the rocks going to end things a bit early. It's probably going to be enough to kind of slow things down. 20cc might have a little bit of room to do something themselves, but I mean, they still have the Uber to get to, so might be a window of opportunity that gets stifled some, but they're still in the driver's seat as they begin to finally poke around, getting some room. Caps will be here eventually, but Ash getting a trap on entry.
Well, he didn't get frag videoed, so that's a positives. But looking at the mat time, the 20cc, they have 3 rounds to get to tie it up with, actually, wait, no, wait, they've been overtime. So I guess that's true. They don't have any, like, super big time disadvantage to work with. I totally forgot about that. But still, 7 minutes on the clock. You definitely want to make sure you're in a good position at the end of this. As Jay's actually standing still taunting, because, okay. Yeah. Having step 1 accomplished, having fun.
Exactly. I know if there's any consolation for both these teams, you know they're definitely going to give it still their all, not because of the infinite overtime thing, but also it's not the first time that we've seen a giant comeback from the extra time that's been added. So, you know, definitely gonna still give it all you got. And 20cc, they are in the driver's seat still. They have the Uber ready to go. Looks like they were just getting buffed up, talking about how they want to actually approach this. Didn't really see a whole lot of movement in IT, so I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of like choke or sewer play. And it's, yeah, they're beginning to go into sewer, trying to get some extra room. We got Ash and Artist both at the choke, ready to bomb through. Assume 1 fake, 1 real, something along those lines. Got some IT pressure. G6, they're just chilling, waiting. Nothing too crazy here. Is trying to poke through Al-Qaeda, just a tap. Soldier Bomb has not come through quite yet. As Howard's actually making a little bit of room in IT, but the extra pressure is coming from the side of G6. Spamming.
They're trying to see if Jay can get any, like, long-range sticky spam. Looks like they're going to actually back up there. Howard going to fall as getting kind of 1v1 by bot mode. I guess it's a 2v1. But on that note, G6 look like they're trying to get aggressive through choke. Logan's actually the one who's kind of Soapy actually tried to pogo through and not going to end up working. They're going to try to get this first wall guy. He is going to have to use, but might be a little too late. Brandslap is going to be caught in and going to fall as Logan's in super deep. He's in behind. Soapy going to fall though. Can Logan win? He's and he gets her shot.
You know, G6 are still streaming in though. They know they have some damage, but they have to clean it up fast. But able to clean up Ash, giving up one of their own. The side of 20cc, all they have to do is slow things down long enough to be able to get the road and respawners, and they're able to push back towards their own choke. But Jay, now it's his turn to jump in, getting thrown back, able to take the pack up on top, and Kobe will eventually fall as Lol Guy trying to take some damage to keep bot mode alive. As if bot mode falls, Lol Guy dies anyway, but they're able to kite just a tap. Oh, surfing just in different directions around the spire, but able to get back to Shutters. Now the reinforcement for the side of the red team are coming in tow, and they're trying to chase down the side of Jay, Zilly, and the scout that's here, and Howard, but Bransom arrived. Billy popped in the air.
Soapy got so much
damage. They're looking up one. Soldiers are coming in now from the side of 20cc, fast rolling out in, but they're just getting cleaned up as fast as they arrive. Ash, he's in the skybox trying to get some damage.
Oh, he gets Lol Guy.
Oh, he gets Lol Guy. I didn't even notice. They just immediately popped the Uber, recognizing it's free, trying to chase down as many frags as they can, but they're over back and sewer behind them, jumping behind them.
Both scouts trying to go in.
And Kobe, they're trying to make sure they can clean up Zilly. He's caught in no man's land. He has to survive for his team. Getting chased down by 2 scouts, have to move around in circles and just try to live as best you can. The soldiers now arrive.
Howard's gonna hit these shots.
By Howard, he's able to get 2. Zilly living, taking the pack as Soapy is able to do it. Not enough ammo left to be able to clean up this kill, just able to escape as the final play for the side of G6 is 20cc. they've done it. They've been able to win this fight, and they still got a long road ahead for this match, but they're in a pretty good spot right now.
That fight took years off of my life with the stress. That was very stressful as a 20cc can immediately go in and just try to dry punch off of the kills, but Zilly and Artist gonna fall immediately, probably gonna spell a bit of a disaster. Howard actually gonna take a 1v1 versus Caps, going to win as G6 is, they're still in this fight. Grants them on the point. Now look at the distraction here, it's insane. Jay's going in with so hurt. Can he actually get anything done? Jay? Okay, no, this is so close. They're gonna get a spawn soon. Ransom he needs to win this very quickly, or at least get LGlgg, get something out of this.
Oh,
the respawners are coming, and he unfortunate there, but that was a good attempt from 20ZC, but unable to get it in the end. Very close, one or two more hit shots they actually could have made it, but 20ZC still fighting this as a G6 wants to push it on this Uber at, and 20ZC does not want to give this second up for free.
Yeah, they're just trying to take it for free so they don't have to use their Uber for mid, and they will be successful in that endeavor. So they're going to have to still deal with the Brand Sniper that's in the forwards, but they are going IT, so Sniper's not really going to do a whole lot here except maybe a flank player that climbs the rock. But Uber comes out, Logan jumping forward, unable to really get anyone, but Artist is taken down by Cap, so they do have that as actually a lot of damage on some of the red players, giving up some of their health to try to lock down mid. Oh, Sniper still in the field. I didn't even recognize he was still in the forwards, but yeah, getting cleaned out, pushed back, and now it's 20cc's turn to make a move. Got the respawner intel, got the Uber ready to go, and they're starting to poke the choke.
Yeah, they want to keep fighting this, and Soapy actually going to go for a pretty big bomb here. He lived with more health than I expected. Artist can be rolling at me. This is kind of 5v6. Zilly gonna eat a really nice rocket from Kobe. He's gonna have to back up, but a lot of hurt players for G6. Kobe gonna get a bow and get healthy, but they only got one, and this might turn to a leapfrog very quickly. They might even try to get in with it using. We'll have to see if G6 can stuff them at this choker. They're gonna get in for free, but they don't have Uber yet. They can quickly spell for disaster as Bomb Mode is behind throughout all this.
Yeah, Bomb Mode was dragging back two people the entire time, but they're still holding on, able to get a couple, including Logan. Bomb Mode, he's finally coming in now with the remaining players that were here in the entire fight.
Oh, Zilly! He managed to. Oh, he's gonna crater at the end. Soapy just getting the fast roll out from spawn, and Zilly's gonna he avoids getting air shot, but is gonna get the crater as they're gonna get their spawns in time, but Jay is on last. I don't know if you think okay, they chose the right door.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the positioning though. I mean, they got a lot of room, some spam might be enough. They've broken through just a tad, but the health on 20cc is a bit, sketchy. They gotta win this now or never. They're able to get a lot of damage, but they're bleeding really thin. Ash, he's just sitting up there hoping that someone will be able to save him, but I mean, he got bomb mode, but they're coming in. But the scout speed, Branson coming in, Zilly able to get that cap, and 20cc, another round on the board for them.
The 20cc dry fights in last, they haven't been super effective, but I respect the hustle. And if you're 20cc, you have a bolt to dodge here because there's a minute and 30 seconds left on the map, right? If you lose mid, you get sent back to last. G6 can just sit there and wait, right? They can just sit there and wait. Actually, wait, there's 4 rounds. How does this work out, Joey? I forget.
I mean, you got to keep climbing back. I mean, if you sit forever, it'll reset to another mid fight. So you can play slow, but you can't, you can't just stalemate forever and never actually push the point. Otherwise, you get punished for it. So, minute left. This is going to be the final round before infinite overtime kicks in when we see what the win limit is. Although with the team already having 4, it is going to be 5. Red team, once again, tons and tons of high on dominance. Jay's kind of trying to spam him backwards, but
Sophie's very hurt.
Stuck in the pit of no return.
Bomb Mode's in on Zilly, but he's not hitting any of these shots. He's going to hit one, get Bomb Mode to clean it up. He cannot. Really big scare there for Zilly's 20cc. A lot of hurt players, but G6 is the ones who have lost this mid so far. And Logan might be caught out. He is going to get the pack instantly. He's going to try to jump out. Looks like he is, but again, 20cc streaming through choke. Logan getting healthy, so he can't stuff this up super hard quite yet. The stickies are going to get... Yep. 20cc really want to get in, but Logan just keeps putting down stickies.
Yeah, I mean, bot mode's dead, so it is a player to work off of, but the fact that people were capping, plus that's not even a spamming class, means G6 still has a lot here on the field to be able to stop them, and Logan...
Oh, they want to go on Logan. Logan went too aggressive.
Oh, yeah, just a tad too forward, but now Jay does the exact same thing. And now Artist, Michael caught out in series, trying to escape away, but will eventually die trying to rocket jump out. Yeah, I got a Kobe.
Oh, Kobe's going
to
fall here.
And that is the wrong config. That is a scrim config when you want to say, okay, let's scrim another map. We've gotten our fill of processes. Let's move on to something else. So this is should not be the end of the match.
A lot of erms and oopses coming out of the side of 20ZC. It was apparently their server. So it's one thing if it's the other server they mess up, but if it's your server and it like messes you up, so I guess they're.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
they're gonna start another round.
at the end of the day, only one team has the Archon, right? So,
Yeah. Soapy says 6-on-6 and give us mid-even Ubers, and Zilly says KK. I don't know if that's actually what's gonna happen, but that might be what happens there, and I think that's
I mean, that's pretty much what the
that's fine.
situation
Yeah, that's
was.
fine.
It was
That's very
even
reasonable.
Ubers with G6 only having bot mode dead, and then they just started poking around, and that's where the cards really broke out. So that's where it was pre-fight.
Yeah,
Lost
that's
like you lose like what 10 seconds of gameplay. It's not really a big deal.
yeah. I think considering as much as I like drama, I think that is by far the most reasonable thing that could have resulted from that. Like even more reasonable than just like doing another mid fight. That's like even for both teams. Like I don't think you can be upset there if you lose in that situation. You know, you're like even if you're holding second, you still have even Ubers, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going live. We get to well, we won't get to see another mid fight. It should just kind of even out here.
We could see another mid fight depending on who wins.
Oh no, they said that they said to get
No, I'm saying like if 20cc wins this round, we will see another mid fight.
Oh, well, okay, well, sure. I just meant like right now. Like
listen,
there's nothing
I took the statement very literally.
Yeah, you did. There's like nothing to cast here. There's it's not the game hasn't even gone live yet. They're still building the Uber. They have to get their Uber before they do anything.
Yeah, Zilly winning the Uber battles. That's very impressive. As nothing else really happening here. I saw a lot of taunts going on the point. Kobe saying they have when they don't, which is very very intelligent. Howard also saying same. Neither team has yet. They know.
They'll get in time.
They know how to count. Yeah, Brent. Yeah, they're winning the mental battle here of getting their Uber first. So there's that, I guess.
It's a race of which medic is better at building Uber.
Yeah, it's that's pure skill.
All right, well, now the game has officially gone on, I would assume, as they don't really need to say go. They both obviously have Ubers. See Red bombing in, got some soldier action going in, trying to land it behind the rock and making space, but they're not really doing too much. They kind of just have Soapy out here, just no man's land. We're not really going to find too much. Piped down by Jay.
Did some okay damage, but is going to end up getting air shot as Howard's actually, he's pretty aggressive in IT. He wants to see if he can maybe open something up. Logan does have the anti-sewer stickies up, and Artist, yep, he found them.
They did work.
Yep, sewer on lockdown as yeah, both basically just did the roamer trade. Both demos, collecting one frag respectively on the roamer. It says Logan gonna get pretty aggressive in choke and to try to spam sticky, see what he can do, and it's actually going to be bot mode sniper as the off class, and he's going to get this first shot for free, and this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, this is one of the more powerful spots for a sniper to be in, because you're relatively safe until that happens.
Guys, the second you said that, I knew bot mode was just doomed.
I mean, he could have been further back, but I guess he wanted to see more, but they're trying to stream through. They're going to give up Artist. They actually have Howard behind, able to take down Kobe.
They need to get... Oh, Logan got bowed, and Brant's
nice
going to get air shot by Soapy. Zilly's actually popped just to save Jay, but they don't even... Oh, Zilly's just running... Okay, they managed to get Soapy. Logan is going to fall, but at what cost? As it's just... Oh, and...
Server changing level. Well, I think we know what happened.
I think we know what happened, so...
For sure.
Bit of a Pepega here, as regardless, we're going to be heading into Metalworks for the second map of this doubleheader.
Yeah, realistically, the post ended in G6 having more players alive. They chased down, they killed the 20cc people that you had to win last.
Love to see it, as I am currently loading up the logs.
So that's a 5-2.
That's a 5-2, which I was actually really impressed with the last pushes out of both teams. I think 20cc did a lot of dry pushes, whereas the G6 Uber last pushes actually went very well. Like better than I've seen throughout the entire previous parts of the season. But yeah, looking at the logs, it looks like Logan had a fun time, Jay had a fun time. Yeah, Logan.
Speaking of them, this was the match where demos just like they probably bombed in more than you would expect. They said, "Screw it, I'm actually sticky jumping into their team."
And they weren't like half bombs; they were like giga bombs, like actively landing in or behind the enemy combo.
Yeah,
like they.
On the wrong, like quote unquote wrong side of the map. Just like if this goes bad, you are 100% dead. So really full confidence there, and I'm kind of curious if that's going to translate into Metalworks or not.
Metalworks, I mean, I don't think Metalworks has some pretty high skyboxes, but yeah, Metalworks, I definitely consider it more of a projectile class map than Process. Process, I think, known for being like good for medics and kind of a scout playground. Whereas Metalworks, there's a lot of like kind of narrow. There's lobbies. There's a lot of narrow doors. There's a lot of shutters, which means that projectile classes can have more fun in general, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty good for those things.
Apparently, Dolphin is loading up the STV demo for the last round, so we can actually see the final moments of how that round went through. I'm pretty sure you can probably make an assumption, but we can see exactly how things. Maybe someone did a giant play that deserves some recognition,
Yeah,
but
somebody could have just spin modded. We would never know.
it's also good time killing, as got to take a sec for map to change. This is a doubleheader. Game's not over. 20cc versus G6 have to go to another map. The one I think that was the one from earlier in the season they did not play, and this is the one that is from like this week. So we'll have to see how Metalworks goes, and gotta buy some time to get that down.
Yeah, as G6 also now making fun of 20cc for quote trolling the stream. So love to see it there. As Dolphin has actually set up the SPV, and shout out to Dolphin on production. Actually, he did that faster and smoother than I could have ever done.
That is the wrong demo question mark?
Eh,
Wrong.
yeah,
Good job, Dolphin.
yeah.
That
Pete
is
did very well this match.
that is not 20cc.
All right, I just jinxed
That
Dolphin.
wasn't even
I love how I have
the
this
pregame.
power. The
That
second I
wasn't
say
even the pregame.
anything, the second I do anything, like I say anyone does anything well, the immediate opposite happens. It's such a fantastic power I have apparently. Like
Sometimes the games are just cursed. That's just how it is.
I just the second. Oh, there is no demo. It never happened. Yeah, Schrodinger's round.
Oh, it's the classic change all early or whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
people. Yeah,
at the end of the day, doesn't seem like maybe at least one person is going AFK, but it seems like we have people moving around, so it's probably not going to be too much longer until you know, things start to shake up when we go over into Metalworks. But it's going to be, like we said at the beginning of this, pretty important for their overall seedings, who's able to take first. G6 to be able to take first for themselves and kind of pretty much lock it in. They do have to 2-0 in matches tonight. If they go 1-1, it kind of at least solidifies, which they can't go 0-2, so obviously bare minimum they go 1-1. It solidifies that they can at least get second. So that was a pretty big win for them. They've kind of, even though not technically, realistically, they've kind of nixed any chances of Froyotech going ham and like going all the way up to second seed, I'm pretty sure. So they have that kind of in their back pocket. So even if the next map kind of goes awry for them, which it has gone before on Metalworks, we've seen it before against, like I said, Froyotech. They got somewhat of a safety net, keeping the train rolling, but 20GC, they can, maybe can take it to rounds or something like that if
shout out to
you
Alec.
win this.
Alec Meaty Beast getting the correct score guesser right, getting the script. Sorry to interrupt. I just had to shout him out.
Honestly, the correct score guesser is even more props to him with this config this season.
Yeah,
it's
way harder now.
Most of the time, anytime someone's like, "Oh, this is gonna be like a 3-1," and you're saying it doesn't go to 5 rounds, you're like, "What are you on that makes it think it's not?" You got a full hour and maybe some change to like get to 5 rounds, but with it being 30 minutes and some change, it kind of makes things a bit difficult. A lot more potential results on the table, so
Yeah,
definitely much more difficult. I feel like the last season and the seasons before, we did a pretty good job at like making jokes about how games were scripted because there were tons and tons of like really accurate predictions, and then this season there's been like between the two of us, well, like one.
We were really accurate early. Well, actually, I feel like we were accurate. We had like a 3-game stretch where we were like Nostradamus, and then after that, it just was all downhill from there.
We used all our energy in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, something like that. Heading into this, we're just waiting on artists. But I guess going into predictions, going about how do you feel about I already said this, but going into Metalworks, do you think it's different enough from process that we could see a much different kind of game, or do you think it's going to be a very similar game where G6 just kind of 20cc has their moments, but G6 has bigger moments and ends up taking the match kind of handily?
I mean, on one hand, because like I said before, it's a 20cc pick. You obviously, if you're picking Metalworks, you're usually a team that has a lot of confidence on some aspect of it versus your opponents, whether it's the pace of the game or the mid fight. But then again, this is one of those mid fights, speaking of, where it can domino effect really hard because it can be difficult sometimes for Domen to play this map if they get ultra focused. And then if, the scouts are able to get super aggressive and deny the soldiers before they can get their high bombs off and things like that, like taking a lot of point presence and things, it can snowball even harder than what we saw happen on Process, which G6 did a phenomenal job of. 20cc had their moments for the mids, but overall, G6 definitely had tons more high ground control, which is even more important, I think, on this map because it's difficult to solidify and difficult to retake if you begin to lose in comparison. So on one hand, you think like, oh, well, I mean, it's their pick. I mean, they got something going on, right? But from what we just saw, I mean, unless some drastic change happens in forms of execution, I feel like G6 isn't going to be that bad. So it makes me I'm kind of still in the G6 boat. I'll probably say like a 5-3.
5-3. Okay, so a little more 20cc friendly since it is their map pick.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and say, I'm kind of tempted to throw out an exotic pick just for the fun of it, but I'm gonna say a 4-3 for 20cc. I think it's gonna go to overtime. I personally, with my own eyes, have not seen this map played this season. I know for it's like had the reverse sweep on Metalworks, but I think Metalworks definitely has the turtle potential to really take this one out for the long haul.
That's true. Because you could definitely see like a team that decides, no, we're gonna play it slow. I mean, it's gonna take us a bit to crack these points, but we'll eventually do it. It's fine. But you could also see, like we said, the mids. It can snowball harder than a lot of other maps you can see in the game. So, as much as you can think about, like, oh, you should do a pretty good job of like controlling the houses and lobbies and trying to break the stalemates. Those never happen if you just lose mid, which you could definitely see a medic just blow up and lower from a Doman or a Soldier Duke going fast and getting the kill. Like right off the bat, but we are going live. The last match of the night between 20cc and Leica G6, so we enter the longest rollout ever known to man. So, it's like,
Is this a granary? Is
it'll be a
granary
sec,
this one
but-
longer?
I mean, Granary's not even in the pool this season, so
I'm just saying in general. I've seen some I've written novels in the time it takes demos to get to mid on granary.
I think Granary might be a bit longer, but well, we'd have to time it.
Regardless, though, we're going to be heading into this mid. Both soldiers from G6 taking the high ground as the little guy going to immediately drop down to 40 health. Jay also going to be very hurt. Kobe going to bomb behind here, actually from lobby, going to see if he can get a flank onto Jay, which he is. Both 2 kills apiece for the side of the G6 soldiers as
Holy
Adam trying to
Kobe.
get to his Aster, and Zilly's alive, but Sophie's behind, and Zilly, oh, and there goes Zilly.
It's actually a crazy play from the red soldiers. They recognized that Jay was playing in his own lobby, just trying to pump out damage into lower. As he began to do his rotation into lower, he jumped backdoor and caught him off guard, and then kind of snowballed from there. No Doman on the field. So really great plays, and the cleanup on Zilly at the tail end of things is going to be the nail in the coffin for ever holding too. So low guy, 100% Uber, ready to go. They just got to cap this up. I mean, I guess it's not super ready. They got to wait for their soldiers, but at the end of the day, Engineer up for the side of Howard. Brand Slam on the sniper, and the hold begins as G6. They got their squad. Time to go ahead and pick a door and begin the push.
Yeah, Sophie getting a health pack, and they're actually taking this a little slower now. They're making sure, okay, now they're all ready. And they're going through a side door here, and immediately into a Pyro and a Sentry Gun. And that level 2 lived for a pretty decent amount of time. Sticky's still on the point, but no kills really, which this could, I don't know, all blue team is in just a corner hiding, but the kills do seem to be going the way of, actually, the kills aren't going either way right now, as no one's really dying.
Lily on the point though, pretty weak, and actually surfs into bot mode, collecting that frag, so no heals for the side of 20cc. Gives G6 some room to play a bit slower, heal up just a tad. They can't play too long because they're going to get extra respawn, and Branson coming in, caps in the corner, and they do not have enough in the tank to make sure that he falls, so really great play, launching themselves in, getting Zilly out of the equation, and playing it slow when necessary to make sure that they lead the game 1-0.
Yeah, Zilly had to kind of surf into the enemy team, and the fact that, one team had a medic and the other team did not, even though they had respawns, that was enough to take that round. And I thought for sure that 20cc were going to win that just because of they didn't really do that much, but apparently they just straight up kind of won the dry fight on last, which is pretty impressive for G6. As I get to another mid here, our Ash is going to be very aggressive very early. He's actually going to live and get a pack, but he definitely did a fair amount of damage, bought some time. As you see Kobe, he's going to be doing the super, actually he's not going to do the super high bomb, he's going to go at us. I'm seeing a lot of waddlers underneath the point here, and a lot of really hurt G6 players, but can they clean up in time?
Yeah, Kobe's going to be a
oh, look at this collapse.
Yeah, they're trying to collapse. Bottom will fall. Caps underneath still. They're still kind of showing themselves. I mean, they got to because Logai ended up dying, but Zilly might be a bit too aggressive. But at the end of the day, just Logan left alive. Oh my god, Jay. All right. Another sword kill underneath his belt. She was only with 20cc able to win the mid with some casualties, but it is not a Pyrrhic victory. Is a pretty convincing one as, kind of took high ground pretty quickly. Turn things around, and they got this cap, decent opportunity to push last and get around on the board for themselves.
Yeah, Jay definitely been studying the blade is another katana kill added to his collection. He's what is it, second and third so far, something like that.
Something
Definitely,
like that.
yeah, definitely been doing more than practicing demo apparently. As they're actually going to be get immediately into last. Sentry going to fall pretty early, and Bobo just corner capping it. They didn't even throw a sticky. There's going to be a nuke though from Sophie's. They're going to get Howard, but it's not enough. As that is a very fast and clean last push from 20ZC. That was a that went a little bit smoother than the G6 one.
It was really good from Branson. Recognized that people in G6 were close enough to the shutters of their spawn that he wasn't going to be able to get those frags. So just cleaned up the point a little bit, crossing people over. They had Soapy bomb into it, but I mean, Branson just got reflashed, wasn't able to collect that kill, and made the frags come to him. And so much cap time included puts them on the board as rolling into another mid fight. We'll have to see how things shake up as both these teams have displayed dominance once over. As, some spam going back and forth underneath. Some small presence from the side of G6 poking under, and actually, it seems like 20ZC taking the route they took on Process, where they're trying to bait just a tad, try to get G6 into a comfort zone and then kind of take it away from them. G6 are kind of, not playing too fast. Not really too much damage from either side to make anyone really red that you want to jump forward at, but I mean, this
Artist is waiting for a bow and he's not getting it. Okay, he's gonna end up getting a pack, but they're kind of getting bullied out of this mid.
Yeah,
look at the positioning. Ash is gonna trade for a kill. Branson's gonna be very hurt, and Zilly gonna be hurt. Howard's kind of caught behind it. He's gonna fall, but can he get the little guy? Oh, little guy's so hurt, and that damage that might try to clean up something off of that. Artist is gonna be too hurt though to bomb, and CC got a little forward off of that damage, but they didn't really have anyone in position to go for a bomb other than Jay, and Jay, decided to pump the brakes on that one as we're going to be settling maybe into the second to mid stalemate on Metalworks. One of the great stalemates of TF2. As we're all going to get spawners, but Sophie going to try to go in and pretty much immediately going to get nuked out of the server.
Yep. Now 20CC on the move through lower, might be able to catch out Logan with some damage, maybe get some extra space. Actually, Branson going to take some damage themselves as okay, no, Ash is finally finding an opportunity to go in onto Logan. Extra space
Branson
from
might get baited in.
But,
He did. Wait, Jay? Oh no, Jay got knocked up.
And he will fall as well. That's a great play from the side of Kopi coming out of backdoor, and Bob he's able to finally make sure that force does indeed happen. So great job from the side of G6, changing things around, and now the shoes on the other foot with the baiting. I mean, it was been 20ZC's thing the entire time, just try to bait, and G6 hasn't really, they don't bite on those plays, and they actually put it against 20CC and have it work out in their favor. So full Uber ad for them. It's looking like they want to go through the left-hand side from the attacker's perspective, and once again, popping through, trying to get to this gun as before it's even built up. It will finally fall, question mark? Yeah, it will eventually get swapped
Ash gonna
off,
fall, though.
Logan, he's kind of getting tossed around just a tad, but it's the 20CC soldiers that are indeed dying. Time throw on the point. They're
wait, the nuke from Jay!
They're all on top of each other's models. Logan, last man left standing, they can frag, but Logai not enough to make sure that he can survive. And, G6, they did a pretty good job at the beginning, but it all kind of crumbled when they thought it was all said and done. And 20CC turning around and break out of last after holding it down, retaking 2 for free, and with no medic and no demo at mid. Unless bot mode or one of the soldiers does a crazy play, this could be a free mid.
Yeah, definitely could be a free mid depending. Jay has kind of a sneaky trap behind himself, but regardless, Howard's actually, look how deep Howard is. He's just kind of in already. He's actually, pretty much everyone in the server is going to be shooting at him. Finally, the combo of 20CC is going to get in and support their flank, but look how aggressive they are even with, no health support, really. I respect the flank of 20CCs that are getting in the pressure, and they still have a pretty sizable ad to work with, and they're just going to keep barreling forward. As Jay, speaking of barreling forward, Jay is getting in, and he gets saved. They get 2. And little guys no one to heal, and they're just in last. I'm actually gonna back up here, make sure, because there's a lot of players hiding in different corners. Bombo's hiding in a corner lower on sniper.
He's just sitting in ramp. What is he gonna do here? He's not gonna go for Miracle Player, right? He's certainly gonna get caught as they go over towards Shutter. Oh no, he's barely escaping.
He still has to. He's not on the. Oh yeah, there he goes.
There he goes.
He's not on the class that can really get out that easily. He has to hit a nice surface. Ash is just on the point. Kobe's is gonna fall. Cap's kind of hurt in the corner, and Loganich is the player's in the face. Branson might get baited in though. It's a 3v3 here. Although one team is very close to Uber. Let's see Jay on the point. Oh, they're so hurt. I don't think does Lily Liquor? No way.
Just barely escaped out. I mean, G6, they were kind of
Howard.
Oh,
wait,
Howard goes for the super play.
That's so smart.
Hides in the corner, times it. Guesses correctly when I guess I wasn't really guessing, so he kind of walked through and didn't even notice him hiding in the corner. It's a great play, just going all in. Apparently him.
That was such a heads-up play. I would have never seen that coming from her. Just it was just a scout and medic getting out. I feel like you've seen it so often where scouts always, that's like TF2 101. It's like, oh, make sure your scouts with their medic when you're leaving. But Howard, sometimes you got to break up the rule book in order to catch people off guard. And definitely the case there is Huge plays there from Howard. Getting that force means 20ZC is back in the driver's seat.
Yep, trying to make some space. They don't want to use this, and Jay is going to be the one that jumps forward and makes tons of space. And that finally calls for G6 to go ahead and back up. They're at 65, so there's still tons of room for 20ZC to use here. And speaking of using, they're through onto the bridge. Jay once again poking through, but he's actually dropped himself so low. I don't know if that Uber started on time to make sure that he was helping at this post, but the entire blue team, despite getting caps, they're ready to peek. Bomb coming from Kobe, launching Zilly back, arrow up onto Artist. So far, they're able to take
Howard
down
coming
Kobe,
in, shooting Logan in the back.
So
they get the forward.
Uber.
Howard's behind during this Uber too, which is very awkward.
If he can survive, it could. Oh, no, it gets sticky down. So G6, they're going to hold on. The Uber definitely saved them as, 20ZC, it's hard to have a really good post when you're that, like, I'm pretty sure almost every single player was red at a certain moment in there, which is definitely going to be pretty disastrous for continuing to fight that. So cut their losses, just going backing up, giving up 2 for the side of G6. I mean, they have an ad to go with. It's 35, it might fluctuate depending on the building, but they're going to have to use this fast if they actually want to try to retake 2.
Yeah, Caps and Logai are going to be building here. They want to make sure to get this as quickly as possible. And if 20C take their time, if they take their time getting in here, it could be successful. Actually, Ash going behind means he's going to have to get chased down, but that's going to buy up a lot of spaces. Ash is pretty much on last.
Oh, Logan, though.
Yeah,
he's juggling a bit.
Yeah, they're actually marching.
Is Logan going to survive? He was alone and just backs up, maybe eats like one arrow and just juggles the heck out of that Uber. Holy. Like, it definitely makes sense to Uber there, but Logan just...
Brandslam's probably going to go for a back cap here, but going to run into Soapy and bot mode. Actually, Howard going for the back cap too. They were so hurt, but the 2 scouts just didn't go at the same time. Artist going to try to pogo out. He's going to be able to pogo out. Jay going for a little bit of spam, did not much. I like the attempt there, but the flank of G6 manages to hold on by like a combined 30 HP. And they're going to be walking into mid here with full Uber red and only projectile classes to stop them.
Yeah, both scouts there is so high risk, high reward, and the reward definitely did not come. As with no scouts on mid, I mean, it's going to be pretty much free for the side of G6. They might even get Artist, and yeah, he's not going to be able to jump out in time, so they got a consolation prize as well with the free mid that they took. So they're on the move in alley. Don't even have to worry about walking off the boards.
Oh, Ash going for a play?
Got a lot of damage onto Sophie and will eventually die.
Yeah, Jarrett is going to be turning into a robot here, but Howard, Ash, and Artist are all going to fall. Zilly's Uber is going to get forced. It is better, but bot mode is behind, and they might get pinched if they're not careful. And had they spotted bot mode, the Uber was so long, though. I don't think bot mode expected it. Bot mode going to fall. Are they going to actually try to refight this? There's a lot of hurt players. Jay's kind of in the corner. Everyone's hurt. Zilly going to try to blow them up. Actually, are going to get through the door. Artist making a huge play. Actually, okay, they're going to chase him out to mid, so bit of a sticky situation there for 20CC, but they're going to try to keep up the pressure. Cap's going to hurt and going to fall. Soapy going to try to bomb to make space, and G6 have the high ground, but Ubers are even, and 20CC's just barreling forward.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to take as much space as they possibly can. One player ad, it's not a spamming class, but it's tons of room to work with as Jay's actually getting on top of the high ground. But oh my, shot from Kobe onto Ash. Goodbye out of the server. And that's going to kind of even things out. G6 has a lot more merit to kind of stay, but be careful. Howard going for play number 2. On to Logai, drop to 5. He will eventually get the pistol frag onto the enemy medic, making the best out of a bad situation, and Zilly staying alive on his own too. That's great for 20ZC.
Yeah, definitely very good there. Is Soapy actually going to lose a 1v1 to Brand Slam? Soapy trying to make a play on the flank, and that's not good if you're side of G6 losing Logai just to a solo scout play. You know, basically for the second time now. First you got a force, now you got an actual kill off of it. This is going to be, you know, tough to hold, especially with how big this set is. They have some time to run some sacks or something, but Logai's actually, okay, he's staying in lobby, he's trying to get out. Babo's actually pressuring really hard here. He does a good job of pressuring, buying some space, but they actually are going to use it. They get 2 off of it, so you can argue it's where the J is already in Valley.
Yeah, I mean, getting 2, that's totally fine. They're still on the move as well, and since those kills are so fresh, they don't have to worry about stacking or anything like that. They're still on the move. Jay bombing in, blocking them out. It might give up his life depending, but Logan will surely die as well. Will indeed die, but a couple frags that you probably wouldn't expect to go the way of G6 are starting to turn, and Howard,
it's just
play
Howard.
number 3 onto if he did that once more, that would have been crazy, but I mean, they full sent it onto 2 and pay the price for, you know, not biding their time and playing it a bit slower.
Soapy's T6ing. Look at Soapy. Okay, he's going for it too. Oh, they spotted him though. Can he hit the second rocket? Oh, he's so hurt, but the Caps, they come in and Uber just as that, and that's Zilly's dead. Huge plays there from Soapy getting the damage in, and this is be very chaotic, but they gotta make sure for the post here. Grand Slam, he does manage to get Logai in the post, so this could turn the way of 20ZC if G6 isn't careful. G6 does have mid. and they're gonna get Howard. It's only 2 up as okay, G6 are gonna get the forwards here, but Artist is also behind, and he trades out with Logan. That's a good trade.
It means no Doman to lock down 2 at all. I mean, G6, they'll get cap time like they're trying. They are not gonna get to hold this one. 20cc are already showing. Wall guys just spawned and is still rolling out. And yeah, the second point stays the way of 20cc is. With Logan just spawning up, they might poke just a small amount. I feel like they probably won't push. We'll probably just even out here, but we'll see. It seems like they're just chilling for now, so.
So he has a good hiding spot there. Is that an edge bug? I think that's an edge bug.
I mean, he's kind of on the lip, but not really. So
hey, he is kind of floating. I think that's an edge bug.
It might not be that difficult to stay up there. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is.
No, I don't. He's taunting. I guess I don't know. I don't know the game mechanics, but he's taunting up there, so who knows? Oh, and he falls that. But oh, the timing.
Artist able to collect that frag.
Yeah, Artist is gonna trade out there, but Jay is okay. Jay is bombing into Valley with Uber.
He's jumping through alley and is going to try to 1v2. He's just gonna die in alley. Kobe's on him, gets the kill. That was very ambitious and is going to bite 20cc. As now they have no dome in here and no Uber. Is G6, they might just pop in and do the same thing. Trying to put a little bit of damage on the Howard. They're slowing down just a tad. Ash is actually putting the hurt on them in the bend as Kobe is actually fighting like 2 different scouts at once.
20cc is just running behind.
They're creating a lot of chaos, and Howard will. Oh
wait,
my god, he will get a frag.
Wait, Howard? Oh my god,
he's doing them so dirty. He's doing
that's the chase. And look at Ash, he did a Gig Assert, and he's just in. And the damage he's creating is huge. Okay, they are gonna get bombed off that. Long guy pretty much has to just go to last, and that was first it was Howard who just is the invincible man apparently, unable to die. And then Ash has a huge surf and just ends up behind and gets another kill off of that. It's a huge place there. As G6 have Uberad, and this is a tough situation. They can't really do super much off of it.
Howard is showing time and time again that having a salvage on your team is extremely beneficial to like the nth degree. As that could have been extremely disastrous for the side of 20cc, and now they're in a pretty good spot. I mean, it's not free, but you know, stalemating on the opposing teams too is generally seen as I mean. Can be a bit difficult to break into last, but having the opportunity in the first place is definitely something you will be sure to take.
Definitely, as yeah, we'll have to see how 20cc wants to approach this. So we're at a little over halfway through the map time right now. It's a 1-1. So if you're 20cc, I feel like you've been having some really good momentum plays recently. Do you want to slow the game down here and just like, you know, run kind of slow sacks? And do you want to just keep the pressure and keep going all out? Because with the way Jay's been bombing, I think Jay wants to go in.
I feel like personally, a lot of the times I've seen 20cc play really hectic, it's kind of spelled disastrously for them, and it's a bad situation that needs to quickly change into a good one. And sometimes you had some salvaging, and sometimes you don't, so it might be beneficial for them to play a bit slower, but we'll see what route they take.
The timing on Sophie again. Sophie's having unfortunate timing, and they managed to live to his use. Sophie turns the corner into 2 players and just gets vaporized, which means that's one less door holder they have now. And they have the sentry, which isn't a pretty good spot, but again, with 1 less soldier to spam, it's going to be a lot easier to spam this out, especially with Logan having to get the soldier on lockdown. As Brandslam's just in, he's going to eat a pipe, but Kobe's going to fall, Artist's going to trade there. And look at Ash, he's just in, there's not that many players to stop it. They get Logan off of it, Whole guy still hasn't popped, they're losing everyone. Yeah,
they lost Logan, and the dominoes begin to fall. Caps on top of the point. They went for resup, thought they could hold in time, but a bit of misjudgment there.
Both teams have Uber, and they only use after the round's over. They literally used with a millisecond left. They thought they could block it, but they kind of just ended up dropping everyone. That was just... I've never seen a team trying to last when both teams had Uber.
Just a small amount of greed that goes a bit too punished. You have to back up so much to make sure that your weak players don't just explode the rest of the way, and that means your front line just gets destroyed. And for this map, when Logan dies, it's over. There's no salvaging it. The floodgates are opened. We begin to a new mid and see how things transpire. What is this bomb from Ash? He's just behind. He's not even playing the mid. He's just behind in their alley right off the bat. So playing the long con. G6 trying to work off the aggression, but the bomb coming in.
Ash is behind. He gets nuked immediately. So, but he did make space. He made you look behind. Kobe's in. Can he hit the second rocket on Brandslam? He can, and Zilly's just in. He gets Logan actually.
They are definitely playing this not to win, but to not lose. Just make sure that Wolguy does indeed die, and we can go from there. Just don't have us diss out on our last, and send Zilly to the other side of the map and have him seal the deal with an arrow, and just Howard left alive with some respawners on the opposing side of the map. So
I'm watching the Howard adventure.
Chaos,
Howard's just he's on a journey right now. They have all 6, like, they have everyone back other than Logan, just kind of actually very alone on it. He's literally looking behind, just like, what? He's like, where's my team?
As, in the corner.
They're all just chasing Howard.
Oh, the timing! He's gonna be able to get Soapy. He's really weak. Oh, not enough self-damage. Soapy will live with 50 HP, and I mean, technically it's a person you can use to begin the push, but G6's flank is so far back, it's gonna be just a tad before they really get there, so I mean, they can kind of try to drive, but it's definitely with a lot of confidence. It's
just one scout on Metalworks.
He's through lower already, just clearing traps.
Oh, my
bomb him. So much damage, getting him melted. Find the opening on Soapy, finding Lee against the wall, but only one rocket will connect. Ash trying to connect a rocket into the alleyway.
Look at Jay, he's just in!
He gets capped. Logan falls as well. Zilly's in no man's land. It's just Kobe left eye bombing onto Howard, and well, they get that kill, but
Howard.
Seems like that's going to be about it. Going to be existing behind versus a tad, but I don't know how much more he can really get.
Yeah, I mean, he's buying time, which is good, but realistically, all he's doing is making sure people can maybe sack in, like, the on mid or mid transition. Bot mode, okay, he actually is sneaky this time, as actually Artist spotted him, and bot mode hasn't known either. Bot mode having some very sad time. Now it's going to be bot mode's turn to be on last. He's in a 2v1. He's going to have to hit some crazy shots or do something. He's actually in a 3v1, as can be cleaned up pretty handily, and they got middle of it, so...
Oh, Jay jumped into a trap? I don't even know. Maybe it was just one sticky, but either way, the Uber is pretty much forced to come out from the side of Zilly.
And there's no one to shoot.
And, I mean, they got the person who forced it, but that's about it, and... Bit overzealous, gonna punish them as they don't have the dome and to lock in the shutters, and that means
Caps got nuked, the Caps was the only one.
Yeah, it just explodes.
I gotta say, the Jay, like, just going all in bombs, regardless of how effective they've been, they have been sometimes effective, sometimes disastrous, but it's making for some great entertainment as actually do see Artist going for the spoon, but gonna fail. He's gonna miss the air shot as well. Howard gonna go for kind of a point sack as G6, they look like they're kind of still in, but Zilly's actually caught out. He can't manage to get through, and that's gonna be a successful last hold for G6, and they have Uber at the work with. Jay setting up a trap as he's kind of just spawning.
Seeing miscommunications all over the board on whether or not people are going to be fighting. First G6 over on 2 with how aggressive Caps was, and now Zilly is still in when had both his soldiers
look at the J trap
inside lobby, and yeah, this J trap, this could be huge. I mean,
but he didn't even dead it. He just like put up another trap, and he's dead.
Yeah, it's gonna slow him down a tad, but that's a lot of Uber to work with. As Artist's gonna fall inside lobby. Ash is gonna be able to be there to kind of hold it down, but no, they're immediately making room. Pop comes in, they're trying to chase down lobby, cleaning up Ash. Maybe one of the scouts struggled forward. Zilly's really weak, has to fall around the corner. And
wait, Logan's going for it.
In. Another, is that 4 sword kills?
3 or 4 definitely by this point.
Coming in from behind on a Zilly in the fire rocket. Howard gets the kill, but Kobe will be able to send Zilly to the grave. What a huge play, salvaging things for G6 is they have a player disab, they do have some health to work with, so just hold us and farm.
Yeah, look, Howard's in the good sniper. Yep, there he is. Howard's just in the good sniper position. Soapy's gonna try to bomb for it. Jay actually running interference there, and he's gonna
holy body block.
That was some sniper demo synergy there. Love to see it. Grand Slam calling someone a psycho, Soapy calling someone stupid. Love to see it as a lot of chaos happening back and forth in this match.
And Howard's still in. He's on top of the red crate, and I don't think G6 have really spotted it yet. This could be huge, just the right moment. I mean, it depends on how Kobe turns around and sees him.
I don't think who looks there though.
When Kobe turns around, maybe.
He didn't, because again, who looks there? He missed the shot.
Look around for your
team. Missed
second. Oh, bot mode heard it.
He did miss 3. Oh yeah, he missed 3 shots. And I think Lokai kind of like, it's hard to hit players who don't know that you exist. You know what I mean? And that was definitely one of those circumstances.
But it's 3 shots though. It's 3 shots. But either way,
fair enough.
10% ad. I think 20cc knew this ad existed. That they can't really stand too aggressive, otherwise they get used. So have to cut their losses, especially with the loss of Howard early on, and have to go ahead and back up to last. So free mid or free second rather. Sorry for the side of G6.
It was pretty free too.
Yeah, it was pretty free, but you know, got the gun building up. That's gonna be about it for the defense of 20cc. But Soapy on the move, straight in on to Zilly, really deep. One rocket will be all she wrote. As Zilly just gonna head and chill with his team. Gonna maybe poke around through the shutter into lobby. Ash is actually on the move really fast on the Logan, but will immediately dies. He wasn't really healthy to begin with. Is overall just a 1-for-1 trade as things will begin to settle once again.
Yeah, that was found the trap kind of sack as he bombed in, found the trap as Kobe actually gonna fall to Brand Slam. I don't know if that was just a 1v1, but regardless, that's I guess another sack as we do have bot mode on sniper, so it's kind of on bot mode. And this is actually, it can be a deceptively good point to snipe into just because of the shutter door. Shutter doors generally help snipers a lot because you can hide behind it, then the shutter door opens and you're dead. So it's gonna be on bot mode here to see what kind of plays he can make, but at the same time, it might be hard to kill Zilly just because he has to go for a Miracle Shot, but he could definitely get some opening picks to help his sack in the future.
Yeah, it's got some time still. I mean, there's still, you got room to work with. So trying to get maybe the peek on one of the soldiers onto Ash. We shoot his feet. There's no extra pressure coming from that doorway to make him really want to move. So Ash really has no incentive, spare curiosity to give up the Silent with Soapy. Bombing through, knowing Gazilli's around the wall.
Oh, Zilly actually forced.
That's a classic. They know that this medic's going to be up against that wall because you have a sniper. So despite the sniper existing, just bomb a soldier. And if he doesn't hit the surf, then he's dead meat. Use the wall to assist with that force, and a really good play from the side of G6. They do have the sniper to work with. I think, yeah, Soapy's holding the door so Bomba can go back and switch it back to Scout as
Heads up play.
A classic last push incoming for the side of G6.
Yeah, 20cc actually already on 40%, so they're doing a good job building here. They're still only 50%, but they know that. I think they preemptively knew that bot mode was probably going to switch off, so they had a little bit extra time to build. And 20cc already on 70% here. Zilly can stay alive. They might get this Uber pretty quickly.
Oh, this gun's so annoying though. I mean,
yeah,
it barely dies. Oh, they're in the skybox. They're so weak.
They might get this Uber. They're at 87%.
Yeah, the ball shots are going massive. They don't even need it. That carpet of stickies. The fact that they couldn't put enough emphasis on focusing Jay that he got to do that, just send them like. Do you see how high the guy went? He literally,
yeah, he was
like,
in the skybox.
His head hit the skybox.
Yeah.
A little bit of assist from some fall damage there, and that's enough to really scatter yourself and make it hard to focus fire during a post.
And Bombard's on the Highlander roulette. Love to see it.
Yeah.
He's in a good spot too. Well. Yeah, Soapy's in Batman, so he can very easily just bomb whatever he wants. And Bombard's going to be a good position to call it. I think Bombard by this point, he spotted that they are in fact not going Valley. They're in lobby as a Bombard. He has decloaked, and I don't think they have any idea.
My god, the timing.
Wait, Zilly, he looked. Zilly was just like staring behind him. Bombard gonna fall. Soapy gonna get spotted too. Means that Artist actually might fall here, but Caps, he's gonna get traded out. So Scout for Soldier, that's whatever. They're gonna take second here, but that play was so long in developing, it kind of bought enough time for Guy to get Uber. So I guess that's a consolation prize.
But it's actually really huge because Botman's not really there to take an Uber if they play this fast enough. Although he's making moves. They're beginning to play really fast though, in through the alley area. Howard's actually might be in a bit too early. Dropped to 7 HP, trying to bail out his Ransom, but yeah, not really shooting him. Overall, just a scout trade. Bot mode arrives, bot mode dies, and they're still showing some sort of presence. Have to be careful. Kobe's putting the pressure on, and 20cc, they're still in the driver's seat, but overall, it's not going to be some sort of advantageous push at the end of the day. Just stalemate, trying to find your best way to break through, get a demo man kill, get a medic force, whatever you so desire. As Brand Slam, now it's his turn to take the ropes of the sniper class.
Yeah, he's got to show bot mode how it's done. I can show Howard how it's done as well. Brand Sam also pretty good at the sniper class. I mean, I would expect any invite scout to be pretty good at sniper, but definitely, I definitely fear all the snipers who have been played so far. As Brand Sam actually going to elect to take, he's going to go through main here. He's not even going to slow peek it. He's just going to Chad 150 peek it and going to immediately fall. So he knew the spam was coming in. Soapy's actually kind of behind.
Yeah, immediately on the move, but just a tad bit of damage on a J and Zilly, not really enough to write home about, but the kill on the Artist is enough to keep the pressure on for the side of G6. Ash wants an arrow, will receive it. Bombo's already through the door. They're starting to convert on him, and will eventually fall, and they're going to be able to get that scout kill.
Howard nuked Caps out of the server, although he might got baited in because of it. Good movement from Howard, but then he is going to fall. Grand Slam he is here, though, so it's going to be a 3v4, and they actually look like they want to fight it, as Grand Slam are going to be running forward, and that's a pause. As also, somebody asked right config in the chat.
True. Well, pause is 90 seconds in the future, so fingers crossed it's for something pretty easy, but we'll see how things kind of go. It could, I mean, maybe they pause to fix the config. Oh, I doubt that message is there for 90 seconds if it's wrong.
I'm looking at Guy here, and unless he hits this bow, I don't think Kobe is long for this world. Just looking at where that looking at the sticky and where that meat shot is lined up on, Kobe not gonna live very long. Guy does have his bow out, so I'd be maybe a little worried that he might accidentally drop Caps or Logan here if he doesn't get that Uber off right away.
Yeah, this could be really bad timing for them. I mean, they probably should have expected some sort of Uber to come soon, but probably just really unlucky on the timing of it, as could be disastrous. They have enough fuel in the tank to kind of hold on to mid, both teams, but not if immediately someone drops before they're able to get saved by the Uber. So we'll have to see how things transpire. But I'm kind of also curious at how, what happens 90 seconds in the future as well. Always got to wonder, is this going to be some sort of tack deal? We haven't seen one of those yet. or if
Yep.
it's going to be a moment where you have another little tech issue or something to deal with.
Yeah, who knows? As yeah, I don't know. I'm a simultaneously concerned for both teams in looking at this Uber because like it's very easily I could see a situation where G6 drops like 2 players just because Logai has his bow out and it looks like he's actively shooting his bow too. If he actually manages to bow code before he dies, that's huge. But if not, this could go very badly. But if 20cc doesn't like get a couple kills on this Uber, this could also be a very bad lead because G6 will just have like a Giga Uber and can just run at them.
Yeah. You also have to keep in mind that G6 are playing in enemy territory as well, unless they somehow snuck this cap, which I think the cap time is not accurate because it kept going in the middle of the pause,
Yeah.
which I don't think they're going to get it mid-Uber. They're not going to have any like forwards that are really close if the fight draws out too long. It's going to be 20cc all the way with Ash and Howard coming up for reinforcements for maybe round number 2 of the post fight if things really drag out and there's a little skirmish afterwards. So it's going to be really important for the side of G6 to play this as perfect as possible because they're kind of they're playing like a high risk, high reward scenario where it's like relatively even. You know, they got a small player ad, but if things draw out long enough, it's not going to be in their favor. So if anything else goes awry, then it could all come toppling down pretty quickly.
Yeah, Soapy looks like he's waiting for forwards, so if G6 don't get these forwards, Soapy's going to have a very sad and long rollout. You know, not going to be able to support his team, whereas Artist is pretty close to the fight. You know, he's just entering lobby now. He's going to be there very quickly for either a post or to get in on the very, very tail end of the Super. Because Zilly's at 98%. He, like, just popped, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably enough damage. Kobe is surely dying. Logan is full. He can probably live, but even just losing Kobe is going to be not that great unless like Caps goes crazy and kills someone at a post. There's always because Zilly is going to be weak for the post. He popped at 65 HP, so there is a possibility that like technically G6 has a better Uber with less players, and then Caps goes for some crazy play that kills Zilly at the tail end of the Uber. Because we've seen some really chaotic post fights where G6 they start or for 20cc they start really confident and start the ball rolling, and then because everything's so chaotic and it's difficult to really contain yourself. You saw it a lot on process where you're just kind of not really where you really want to stand and just end up dying. So got to be careful still. Despite it being pretty easy for things to go right here, I think for 20cc, they still have to show some sign of caution.
Yeah, definitely. If theoretically, if 20ZC they win this fight, right? Let's say they go to last, they get a last push, and then they game it, and then the game ends because this pause is happening, so it must be either someone lagged out or it's attack. And if it's attack, I think if it's attack, that means more than likely G6 got rolled on last, and they have to like now get 2 rounds to tie it. You know, I guess 3 rounds they'll win it, but there is no ties. If you're G6 and you're losing, never mind.
Going live. Logan
Brand Slam just in. Okay, they are going to get the force, and they only managed to drop Kobe, so that's, you know, not the... It could have ended a lot worse. Jay is actually still in. He looks like he wants to fight his... yeah, Red never managed to cap... Yeah, looking at the cap time, they weren't even close, so the reinforcements are going to be here for 20cc. As a lot of... Oh,
holy air shot
that
on
was
the side of Ash.
Yeah, that was huge, actually. Both in the air, and that crater means that G6 is going to be out. Actually, Logai's caught out.
Logan too. Bomb from Artist cleaning up that kill. Bot mode's in the front, trying to make sure that he can cause some sort of chaos, but 20cc, they've tempered themselves pretty well. As soon as they got that play successful, they backed up enough to make it really difficult. I mean, bot mode is still kind of lingering in the house. Same with Caps. They're really going for the play now. As they clean up Kobe, they're inside alley. Bot mode's really aggressive, getting some damage on a Brand Slam, but Caps is not quite there. The follow-up will not come, and still in house lingering. Got some spam from Sophie, but this is a really rough spot from the side.
He looks like he's going to try to kill Ash. And Ash has spotted him, so not the correct timing there. As Caps is still behind, though, which means it's something they are going to have to deal with. Caps is going to get a little closer because he knows that if he...
so early.
Yeah, I don't blame him, too, especially with Caps behind. Artist, Caps doesn't even know Artist is about to kill him, too.
They traded demos, though. That could be big for either team. No defense, but no lockdown for the point.
Wait, Caps managed to get the last... Wait, okay, he is going to die there. It's just Kobe. It's just Logai. Okay, there's no way. And, yeah, that's going to be a 3-1. And, I don't think my time's accurate, but it's looking pretty close. So, yeah. Oh, G6 tack pause. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a minute left pretty much in the round. There is the infinite overtime, as always. So, you know, don't have to worry about, oh, it's garbage time, it's over, because it's not. They can still climb back the same way. and they've been climbed back against them. So yeah, get a little tack in to try to make things right, as you don't want to have things go too awry. As fourth round is probably going to be what we're looking at as the win condition here for this match, as mid goes underway for both these teams. Just a little slow and spammy, no one doing any fake bombs or anything like that. Usually you see at least some sort of fake bomb coming from the 20cc, but Jay, he dies to a pipe. That is the mid over.
Yep. Well, it looks like they're gonna back out here, and I can respect G6. They're not being super. As I was saying that, Soapy just gets launched. Actually, Soapy and Logan are both just bombing very fast. Fortunately, Wolguy is there to clean them up, get them healthy. But Zilly's okay. He's not hurt
Howard
anymore.
unseen. Howard unseen, finding Wolguy.
Gets the force,
giving up his life for it, but a great play to make sure there's no way they can get any kills. Spare maybe like some random trade if actually they're all inside each other's models.
Nuked.
Never mind. They were all inside each other's models, but yeah, enough room to make sure that Branson doesn't die. So that's something, but there's no scouts for 20cc, which is actually a great incentive for G6 to begin the pushback already. 20cc, they're at the end of the bridge, through the shutter. This is really rough for them, and the wrong config once again. The game you'd think, right? It's one of those things when you change the level, your default whitelist sets, and obviously their default whitelist is not a match whitelist and is a scrim whitelist, and they did not change it on map change. So
20cc, they're all just typing in chat that it's quote Jay's server. So that's if there's anyone to blame, it's apparently Jay. As
it's whoever has the Archon.
Yeah, it's whoever has the Archon. It's and I think it's Jay. So please direct all complaints to him, as they're trying to determine what they want to do. And Ash says that they can have two, and we go to last. And Wolguy says "ite." So yeah, that appears to be it. And Wolguy also says next time it's going to be on our server.
I mean, I think what I was agreeing on once again kind of makes sense. After that Uber kind of happened, there was no way that 20cc was going to be able to really chase. I think they had no scout, because they lost Branslam and Howard near the tail end of things, so you can't really fight that. They're on their way out in the first place, so it'll probably be relatively even, I would assume. I mean, G6 technically had a really slight ad because they got forced first, but probably it's not going to be a big deal.
It's really impressive that they did it twice. You know, doing it once, it's like, yeah, it happens, but twice, that's just that's something special.
And it's not like it's week one. It's not like
yeah, it's half. I mean,
what is this round
they
time?
They set it to 99999, I think, and that maxed out whatever the time is. So
you just set it to 0.
Yeah, I mean, if it lasts that long, the game might as well end. If we're here for 166 hours, or 1,000, excuse me.
If it lasts that long, eventually someone will go AFK and just win off the fact that the team doesn't have a full squad ready to available to play. But
by that point, it's like, do you have your gaming diaper? You know, all the good stuff.
Just game hasn't really started yet. Gotta wait for the Ubers to go through. As G6 are getting the second cap that 20cc said they had deserved, as they got some got a lot of room to claw back here. They have call, they have Uber, they're ready to go, and it seems like the moves are going to begin. We saw a spy kind of checking for the side of 20cc, but didn't really commit to that. It's going to be the classic sniper and engineer as Zach comes in. And as quickly as it started, is no overall going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Spamming to the shutter is G6. They're trying to put the pressure on, but will not send a second player, just the one man from Soapy. And I mean, there's no room for 20cc to really do a counter with Howard's death. Actually, bot mode was on the move, trying to get some damage on Artist, but will not be able to clean up that frag. Now Ash actually pogoed behind because they were still in lobby. Might be able to find Logan, but drops to red HP, but not quite enough to get the kill.
Yeah, that's tough. Ash was in a good position there, but Logan just able to barely live there. And if Ash gets Logan there, I think they're definitely 20cc is pushing out. But because of that, they're settling back into last as Howard did the kill for the sniper gods. And speaking of which, we do have bot mode up on sniper, so it might be we might settle into a bot mode versus Howard SVS battle. As the non-sniper main here, who do you think has the advantage there, bot mode or Howard?
I will give it to bot mode because I know he likes to run it in scrims for sure. So I would hope that they would be able to like play and spam around their sniper a bit better to let him actually get SVS shots rather than just spammed out. But you know, it can be a coin flip sometimes. You win some days, sometimes you don't. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, bot mode. He's doing like he's doing the shoulder peek. That's the I don't want to die to another sniper peek, which granted is a very heads up play. It's you don't really see that one too often in 6s. So that's some good technology there. As Ash and Soapy get to trade a little bit of damage, but not much. Jay is working, putting 80 million stickies down, but they do have a level 3 dispenser, so that's nice. No ammo shortages here. As and Bot Mode's taking this slow. Bot Mode's waiting for someone to peek that left door, and Howard's waiting for someone to peek the right door. And neither sniper can find anyone to shoot right now.
Just rotating around, seeing if they can finally get something working out in their favor, but so overall, no dice. There hasn't really been like an actual SVS that's happened yet, I don't think, right?
They haven't seen each other.
Yeah, and maybe they'll change now. You do have Howard on the point. Bottom's peeking the shutter, but no. Still, once again, just trying to go for any frag. Realistically, you got to be able to get some extra space to kill this gun as well. So it could even be really beneficial to kill one of the soldiers, because one of the more difficult things about spamming down this gun is you're neglecting counter spammer. Like, there's probably a soldier shooting right back at you. I mean, Soapy's getting it for free, but here comes Ash. It's stuff like that. So if you can even get one of those kills, it makes it extra free as Kobe making some moves, able to kill Howard, but will eventually die. So overall, 1-for-1 trade. Soapy trying to make the extra space to get damage on the gun, but it's just not quite enough as a solo play in Ash. He's coming over, so much damage, but he's actually the one to fall, and Soapy lives.
Oh, he's going the flank angle. I don't think they spotted it. He's doing the slow peek.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, Artist just barely saved Zilly from disaster there. Zilly had no idea. Artist, correct timing there, realized, oh, hey, I should go check this door. Is going to be able to check it and kill Bot Mode, and Bot Mode definitely going to be very sad for that one, because that was a good opportunity. As that was a little stressful from Zilly. Soapy bombing in, getting 3 rockets off, but, Zilly had a good surf there, is able to live. And Howard's still on Sniper, trying to get a little more aggressive here with this long second to blast kind of angle.
Yeah, the stop from Soapy, it worked the first time they tried it in the match. There's a Sniper. Oh, okay, the medic's going to hold against the wall. It should be a bit of an easier force. He's kind of close, and has a wall against him, but rockets just didn't really connect. Zilly got a surf that time, and going to be to no avail as clock's ticking down just a tad. To see, I can't actually. My clock isn't moving, so yeah, I can't see the actual round timer. I'll have to look at this. I'll look at the stream as a reference, but
yeah, just about to hit. And is Bot Mode's still on Sniper though, so they don't seem too dissatisfied with maybe resetting the mid or doing whatever. As there's the force. They send 3, got the med. We'll have to see how. 20cc. I think actually they don't want to reset this round. They just want the force at all costs, and they're okay with giving up second for it potentially. Howard actually still on Sniper here. Interesting decision. He is going to be able to lock them up pretty hard. I think Logan saw in there. Actually, 20cc don't want to put. They want to reset. They want to just hold last.
Yeah. G6 are making a statement that we are more confident in our leapfrog than our stalemate. So sure, we'll give up 3 and give up 2, and then we'll just try to push back and roll that into last. Well, 20ZC says, no, you don't get to do that. We are more comfortable holding with our off classes on last than we are setting up on 2, because 2 kind of blowed. So we're just going to go ahead and defense this up. Gun's going to go down immediately. Zilly trying to find his way to survive will be the first death as immediately pressure on the point.
Gets nuked.
Full soldier jumping over to be able to make sure that is defended. Soapy dying as well, but actually Soapy's still alive, but Howard is going to be the final person left alive. And G6, another round on the board. Not over quite yet. We are going into a 3-2 game in favor of 20ZC.
Yeah, just a reminder for those of you who are either A, just tuning in, or B, don't remember the config, like myself. So, 20ZC, they just need 1 round, and they're the victors. G6 need to get 2 rounds to win. So, it's going to be a very important mid here, as, well, Demo's actually rolling out. I think Jay's a little faster than Logan. Not that it matters that much.
Oh, it might. Soapy goes
fast,
but
you think so?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Soapy does pogos sometimes to try to kill down man. It can really punish you if you're super slow, but he didn't actually connect the speed shot, I don't think this time, but immediately fake bomb. No, real bomb, not even fake going through, but Soapy will not hit the mark with his rockets and will end up falling. So 1 soldier dead.
Real bomb. Artist is in.
Yeah, low guy surfing around, able to survive just a tad, but overall it's going to be 20ZC that are giving up a little bit too much, and Jay, really weak. Bomb from Kobe's doing a lot. Zilly popped from the air.
Zilly got...
He's the quickest person forward.
He lived. That's it. Branson going to die actually for kind of Zilly's sins there. Branson running forward to buy some space, and Zilly is going to live here. I'm actually kind of surprised, dude, considering he just got popped straight up in the air, and there's a scout staring at him. It looked very dangerous there for Zilly, but in the end, gonna actually live, and we're gonna settle into a second to mid stalemate. So definitely feels a little bit better than mid to last. But if you're 20ZC, you're probably not super happy you've been on the back foot since the round reset, basically.
Yeah, we'll have to see how these stalemates kind of play out. It's a bit different when you come to last and second, as I think there's a lot more room to work with because you don't have to get the gun out of the way. I think that's the biggest thing that slows things down is the gun. You have to be a bit more meticulous without just throwing your face into a brick wall over and over again. So, do you have G6 kind of moving over into beggars for Soapy? He could go crazy with this.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm on the Soapy cam.
He's in.
Oh, he's in super
he's in the
deep
air.
too. He's gonna get these 3
indoors.
rockets off. He's actually on Ash. Ash lived though. Huge plays there from Ash is actually huge plays from Lol guy. Plays everywhere as Logan's actually gonna fall there. I don't know how Logan
He was on
died.
the pallets. Did not back up. I guess he thought his team was still in, was being able to get
Caps
the
had
artist
to get
kill,
both
but
to get saved, but actually Howard's gonna fall there, so big collapse from G6. Actually, Caps is gonna fall, and it's just chaos. People dying everywhere, but Logan being dead is definitely a much bigger loss for G6, as it's just Kobe and Lol guy. Okay, Soapy is gonna fight them, so it's gonna be kind of a weird ulti duo. Jay actually surfing all the way to the pack, actually. Big surfs from him.
yeah, they gotta win this fast if they're gonna fight this 20ZC, and I think they recognize, yeah, the respawners coming in, it's a bit too hot for them.
Oh, Soapy's doing the
Soapy
super
going
fast. I
fast.
think Jay's
Spoon?
Oh, he tried. That was a noble attempt, but did not get it. If he got that, that would have been the highlight reel for sure, but just another crushed dream as 20ZC, they're actually pushing it pretty steadily off of that just one pick.
Yeah, well, sack time anyway, but 20ZC definitely have a lot of room to work. As Ash, he wanted to bomb in, and as he bombed in, he ate like 2 stickies that were kind of on him, so it definitely screwed up his health pretty badly as Jay. I don't just think he caught the memo that his team was leaving quite as fast as they were, but he's going to be A-okay with the health. And overall, I mean, they're still trying to pressure from the side of G6. They got bomb mode kind of poking around underneath Kobe's indoors. Same with Soapy. I don't think we're going to see a Soapy bomb with his current HP pool, so
Anything's possible.
I mean, he's aired up now, healed up, so things are going to slow down. They've removed themselves from the alley area, got themselves buffed up, now re-entering, now their health is okay. They got their players ready to be expendable and going for the sack wave. So he's indoors, finally finds the opening.
Just going like the normal through the door. And Zilly, yeah, he managed to just barely get through the door. You know, got dropped very low there, but the sync just wasn't enough, and the solo sacks haven't been super successful for the past bit now. Which I don't blame him. Actually, speaking of which, Ash, did I jinx it? I did not. As Artist getting in, and he got a solid rocket off, but that's it. As bomb mode actually gonna fall means that 20cc have a oh, and there it goes.
There goes their window. That's actually a window for G6 now, because I mean, there's definitely a whole lot more room on the map to kind of burst through. At least, maybe take it slow through alley, kind of. But 20cc, they're still showing faith. They're kind of tucked into a corner. They're actually able to get Soapy. Great place from
Ash is behind.
Yeah, he went behind, and he's still behind them working.
And Brand Slam went through the other way. That's an easy force for them. They didn't really have to do damage. The little guy just saw the position they were in. They're like, oh, there's players everywhere. I just have to pop, or else we're going to drop people. So,
yeah,
big play there. Yeah, just sometimes it's not the miraculous kind of glory play that gets the kill. It's the smart plays where it's just like, oh, I gotta give this up or else worse things are gonna happen. And that was definitely one of those for a wall guy. They're just recognizing the situation, but they still have this uber dissad to work with holding mid, and looks like 20cc are gonna kind of just try to slow push. They're actually taking this really slowly and methodically.
Yeah, they know they have tons and tons of time, and G6 doesn't really look like they want to go for any sort of flank play, so everyone in the house is going to be A-okay, as Jay's actually bombing through to make space, trying to lock things down. Kobe's going to be the furthest one forward, but will pogo away. Soapy taking some spam as well, as I don't think these final rockets, yeah, they're going to be fine. And overall, I think both teams just wanted to play it slow and kind of feel things out, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of like an okay scenario for both these teams. Got a free point if you're 20cc. For G6, at least you didn't lose tons as you backed up to 2. This is one of those maps where sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and be like, point for free in either direction is kind of whatever. It could have been worse, but sack comes through from the side of 20cc. Just Howard running through lower will not really find him too much.
Cool. He just kind of ran in and died in the...
Yeah. They're in house, though.
I guess I assume he's going to go on Sniper if nothing disastrous happens for. Speaking of which, Ransom actually going to fall from the sack from Soapy means that there's a bigger opportunity to work with as Logan and Caps are in, and there's a lot of damage. Look at the positioning for them, actually. 20cc might have to just give this up or at least do something off of it. Kobe bombing forward, buying space, and yeah, they just had to give this up through positioning just because Branson died.
Yeah, they were so, because of Branslam's death and Howard's death earlier, and they were so weak as well, they couldn't actually lock down the doors, and once the doors were, the floodgates kind of opened, everyone is able to walk through because of the bomb that Soapy did. That's pretty much a free point at that point. So, once again, they're trying to do it, trying to go for the slow push, but might be a bit off the mark with the timing. You see the flank coming through. It's actually part of the combo, Kobe coming in, but...
A lot of air shots.
Overall, just a two-man that's not really going to lead to too much, and because they didn't even get a kill or a force, it might be disastrous. There is a trap lower that I think Logan was trying to spot, but will not find too much dice
They chose
there.
the correct doors, they just are in. Yeah, they definitely chose the correct... Logan gonna fall.
Do they want to fight this? They're still lingering? No, they can't. They back up lobby. Probably the safer choice. They were looking like they were poised to maybe bust through, but with a Logan death, yeah, it's going to be a bit of an awkward post. So just backing up. 20cc taking tons and tons of room for free, and Is now they have actually a really big incentive to go either for some sort of sack play or Uber exchange or something with the fact that Logan is not quite there.
Yeah, they have to go in. Artie's going in pretty deep, just buying some space here. As Logan is finally here, he's going to be ready to fight. He gets a bow and he's healthy, but Kobe actually going to fall as Ash just full sends it, and he's behind. Caps is going to be able to clean it up, and both soldiers down for 20 ZC with even Uber speeds. They are going to back up here. And G6, they're streaming into mid.
Yep, they're trying to meet them to a degree, but the only spam they really have is Jay, and he was having some trouble making sure that he was poised and ready to go, but it will be forced out. But try and chase down Howard and make sure he's okay, but he definitely is going to fall. Actually, maybe. Oh, he takes down Cap. Is he? Okay, no. I thought he was going to get 2 kills or something like that crazy, but Logan in a bit of weird situation, but it's going to be fine. But Jay is going for the all-in play. It's just really deep inside the enemy team house, and they another one of those situations that I guess they kind of recognize that they've lost, so they want to take as many out with them on their way, but they get no one. So that's not even like a acceptable okay scenario. It's disastrous. Is they're gonna get people. Yeah, both soldiers.
Kobe
they lost
almost
the respawn.
got nuked. Kobe bombed Howard and Forrest, got air shot, headshot, and cratered and linked for like 1 or something like that. It was with 7. That was almost Kobe almost got punished for his sins there as heading into last.
Could be a tied up game after what happened mid there. You gotta. What is this? Another tack? Pause?
Maybe?
I'm thinking that could be one of those situations where things get tied up after G6 did attack, and now it's 20ZC's turn to attack to make sure they don't get, reverse swept from the, I guess it's not full reverse sweep, but you know what I mean. They were leading pretty hard, and then the tables have turned, so obviously whatever G6 talked about kind of worked in their favor. It's not just a lot of mid fights, it's a lot of the transitions and sack plays and stuff are working out in their favor, so 20Z in this last hold, I think a lot of people would kind of assume that it might go sour for them here, but you never know. Could be just coincidental timing with some tech.
Yeah, it could be, but definitely if we think the game is going the way it is, this very much could be a 20ZC tack pause, which would be our second tack pause of the game, which I'm kind of glad teams are adapting more and they realize, like, hey, if there's no halftime, sometimes you do really need to just sit down and talk about stuff. I feel like tack pausing used to be a bit of a meme, considering there is multiple opportunities to go around and talk, but these days, kind of few and far between, so definitely got to use your pauses wisely.
I think it was a big reason why a lot of people were like, I want to keep my halftime. I don't want it to go away. Like, even not just the prior off season, but just past like however many seasons, when you talk about like all the different rule sets that exist and that are played with. Talking about your issues in a situation where you can just sit down and actually hash things out is extremely strong, and halftime is if you're not going to have it, the tack is the closest thing you're really going to get. It's not too dissimilar, realistic. It's just talking about stuff while you have a moment to relax and actually have a discussion. So using that to your benefit, and A+ in my book is. Love to see how long it lasts. I think last time it definitely was really lengthy for the side of G6, but I don't know how much 20ZC are really going to want to talk about.
I hope they were going to want to talk about mid, considering if they lose this last push, they're going to be into a very, very important mid. And I think if it's been back and forth, I feel like G6 has won more, even though they're down rounds, but I don't quote me on that. I have the memory of a goldfish.
Worst case, you can just look at the logs in progress.
Yeah. That would require me alt-tabbing, but definitely...
Yeah, that's work.
Yeah, it's work. We don't do any work here on the RGL casting. Yeah, I mean, what's the Uber to set? They're at like, what, 50? They're actually exactly 50% Uber to set. So if they build well, maybe 20CC can get an Uber at the very tail end of this last push, but I feel like G6 have done a good job pushing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think... We've seen, and so far tonight, we've seen some last pushes that have really gone awry, but I think the only really bad ones we've seen for Metalworks have been ones where you don't get any kill with the Uber for a variety of reasons.
And
I think
just stand on the cap.
Yeah. Well, I think if it goes bad, it's because like one time I think a pyro just ruined the Uber so that the post began and no kills were had. You got a gun and you heard a pyro and that's about it. The other time we saw the carpet bomb launch the entire team into the skybox that prevented them from having a decent post and chasing frags optimally because it just wasn't enough damage. All your damage is in the air. So you'd have to see something like that. But with Cutter defense, I'm not really sure what we'd be seeing here. I guess Jay has to pull a Hail Mary and maybe trap the bridge again or something. But
we have seen
anything's
players.
possible.
We've seen players die too, at least a couple times. A couple players just standing on the point thinking, oh, if we stand on the point, we will win. But there's enough players alive on projectiles that they just kind of get nuked. And then, half your team dead. You can't push last anymore. I don't know which side that happened for, but that's definitely something I do remember happening a couple times now, where like people kind of think, oh, we won, or like, oh, I'm just gonna get point tab, and then they just go from like 100 to 0.
Yeah, they're all inside each other's model. Fun fact, right before we get into this, I guess I'll actually, I'll talk about it when the mid actually happens. I did the work, I looked at the log.
There you go.
We'll focus on the present now. But
Yeah.
there's a small little statistic for the next mid fight, because one is definitely going to happen eventually, but Uber comes in for the side of G6, Caps block. Okay, there's the pyro we talked about. They're not going to get any kills until the
Jay's
Ghost
just
begins,
in,
but actually
though.
Jay, he kind of gave up his life almost. There is a nice air shot from the side of Ash onto Kobe, but he's going to potentially give up his life and will clean down from the side of bot mode. Branson showing face some spam from the side of the remaining blue soldiers, but it's not quite enough, and this is probably looking like attack as G6 pretty clean. It was a little rough at the beginning, but the rest of it was clean. As got another round and tied things up 3-3 as we're going to go into another mid fight. And the statistic that I was kind of looking at was out of all the mid fights that we've seen so far for Metalworks, 20ZC has won one.
I was gonna say
every other one has been G6 favored.
I think it's impressive too that 20ZC it's a tie game, and they haven't had very much success on the mid so far. You know, I wonder if they're gonna go the strategy kind of they did before. Oh, there goes Ash. He's behind again. As there are players looking for him, and Caps is gonna fall courage immediately. This did work last time. I'll have to see. Actually, Howard's in super deep as well. So 20CC just full sending it, trying to get anything, and they really want wall guy here. Okay, Ash is killing everyone, cleaning up everyone.
A little weak though. The wall guy can be scary, but no, we'll get out. Oh, okay. Okay, I was wondering. Yeah, I was about to say is like they kind of left like Jay and Zilly to the wolves. I guess Brandsam just ran forward to try to help clean up wall guy, but it turns out Brandsam wasn't even at the mid. That's why they paused. It was tech. They played that entire mid with Brandsam in spawn, and
I see.
And barely lost it. So just imagine if he was there. That's
True.
Gotta be a little bit frustrating, but I'm sure the teams
Ash is behind.
You know, you gotta shape up and get everything ready to go for the game that's ahead of you, in front of you. But yeah, Ash is behind.
I wonder if they know.
I don't think so. I mean, maybe there's small amount of paranoia.
Backwards. I see players kind of like.
I think they do.
Oh, yeah, look at bot mode. Bot mode.
Oh, he's gonna find Ash before Ash sees him. It's just the luck of the draw. Noble attempts. First.
All the players that have gone behind so far have like not been have just had really bad timing. Not bad, but just not aware timing, and have been like kind of caught out, which is very unfortunate for the players who are going behind. But G6 in the driver's seat to kind of get the 1-3 comeback in this match, which I expected it to be close, but I didn't expect it to be this close. For G6 clawing their way back from a 1-3 deficit, it's very impressive, even if they managed to lose in the end.
Yep. It's always good to have the extra time to kind of make sure that I guess that's good to make sure there's no garbage time. Kind of clean things up, and if you really think that you are the better team, are able to adapt as teams begin to show their hand and their plan A, you can kind of show that, oh, it's okay, our plan B will be enough to take the match, and we'll definitely show that if they can come back. Yeah, you do have bot mode sniper on the field. Gotta take a couple shots, probably through lower right off the bat. It hasn't been seen quite yet. Could be able to take down Howard if he's not too careful. Finally, almost take his first shot pretty soon.
Yeah, Soapy's actually pretty in. He's actually, he's full sending it. Maybe he's just trying to buy some confidence. I think they spotted bot mode, so I think they know there's a sniper. Now they just have to figure out how they want to sack and do this. Because, again, if you lose this and you lose too many players, you could very easily just get second to last there, and that could be it for the match. So this is, even though you do have a player advantage, you gotta be very careful here, especially with a sniper.
Yeah, I think on their way trying to walk through, they've met a little bit too much resistance, whether it be spam or clearing traps, and they just cut their losses, say, screw it. I mean, well, you can go for another sack, that's fine, we won't counter. You can't do that forever. Decided 20CC, eventually they will have to make a move. You can't just let Votmo take shot for shot, or eventually he'll be able to hit one and get a kill, so we'll have to see how aggressive they are willing to play and when they finally, pull the trigger and go Piper aggro. They are in a position where they, are pretty anti-sniper. Might be difficult to, block against soldier bombs. We've seen G6 do that before, where you have a sniper on the field, just bomb Soapy. He tries to do that, immediately meets the trap and some extra spam, and will eventually die. But bomb comes in, they're starting to work their way through into lobby, able to take that free. Not without giving up some of their health, though. It's a bit rough. I don't actually think they're going to be able to do it on a sack, but actually, never mind. Ash is able to work his way in onto Logan and bot mode, just shared the damage to tab, but not quite enough to collect either of those kills, as Caps dropped to like 7 HP during that. But at the end of the day, 20ZC gonna have to cut their losses back to 2, and G6 gonna take a sec for Soapy to get back there, but they are on the move once again as bot mode begins to peak lower with his team.
That was a good attempt by 20CC, but not able to recover. Bot mode getting pretty deep in lower. He's trying to see if they can bait players in. I don't know how Kobe just dropped that HP, but whatever. Regardless, you know, 20cc are slowly buying their time off. And yeah, Bob Mode is very deep. He's gonna get spotted. So G6 are doing a very
Dagger Soapy?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they know they're gonna be so afraid of the sniper. I think they know he's on beggars. He actually just kind of tried to spread out the damage as much as possible, but isn't gonna be able to really clean it up. And yeah, 20cc's on the move with that Soapy Death and Bot Mode still on sniper. Did you see Kobe aggressively watching lobby here? Bot Mode watching the entrance to the lobby, seeing if he can hit a shot or get anything done here.
Low guy pushed all the way back from the bomb from Ash, and Branson tries to make use of the space given to him, but just ends up getting piped down by Logan. So overall, accidental two-man as a counter sack, and that's tons and tons of space for Bot Mode and friends to begin to work their way through, and maybe even begin to get this force and even take two for free. Bot Mode, he's alone, but he is in lower, and that's that is enough room to make sure that Zilly is dead, and they're unable to use his Ubers. G6, they take positioning on top of the point. The rest of 20cc, they're scrambling just a tad. Power in the thick of it. They got Soapy, will eventually die, and Jay's jumping in with the side of Ash. They get the force, but both will lose their lives. Jay on life
There's
for
no
a
one
second,
left to block this. I think this might be it. There's no one left to block. It's literally, wait.
He's on sniper.
He's on sniper. Oh, I don't think that's the right class in that situation. I don't think they were going to win regardless. But yeah, that's a 1-3 comeback for G6. Gonna end up winning 4-3 and taking the double header 2-0 overall. Close games, but in the end, 20cc just close, unable to make it.
Yeah, 20cc definitely showed why they picked that map in the beginning of their hand. They started out pretty strong, spare the mids, but overall, the comeback and adjustments from the side of G6, as well as making sure that throughout the however many pauses you did to be able to, I know the tech pause is obviously not deliberate, but you can still talk about stuff during it. Despite all that, they were able to have a good hole on the mid on like all but one, I think, even the one last mid. So definitely you can point to any number of things that is the winning play that makes a close game of victory in your hands, but that definitely is a huge pattern. So hats off to them for that. With them winning both those maps, they are overall gonna, not technically but realistically, are gonna be able to take the first seed. As there's still some matches left to go that are maybe a bit lopsided, might be a bit hard to get upset wins and losses on those though. So they'll be able to play probably whoever the fourth seed ends up being between Mal and Froyotech, as 20cc off to second seed they go.
It's kind of funny that you get first seed and your reward is playing Froyotech. What a kind of a strange season we're in, honestly.
I mean, it can be kind of difficult because if the teams between third and fourth are close enough, you might have like a playstyle preference. Like, technically this team got third, but the way they play, we know how to beat it so much easier. So like the rock, paper, scissors kind of deal. So sometimes you get a bit unlucky. It doesn't really work out that way. But hey, the hand that's dealt is the one that's dealt. You get what you get. But at least they, no matter what, you get some sort of like advantage with the pick ban, with a little bit more control over what the third map is going to be. But you can take a little look at the logs here and see
doing some work.
Yeah. A little bit of lower DPMs because of how slow paced it was. We were at last a bit. It's kind of hard to get the angles as much as you want to like spam. You kind of have to. It's weird. It's much more difficult, I think, in Metalworks stalemates and process ones to be able to kind of poke and prod and make sure that you can be useful without accidentally giving up your life. So it's to be expected, I think.
How did Jay only die 12 times? The amount of times I saw Jay just like going in full sending it, he only died 12 times that half.
And I think that's a testament to Jay's play besides those moments, though. I mean, you do see a 7 and 5 there. Maybe that's some of those deaths.
Maybe that was okay.
In the last bit of the gameplay, but and some of the comeback. But it's a testament to how well he was playing in the beginning, for sure. But at the end of the day, not quite enough. Is overall, it's everything combined that leads into the overall stats and score line. As G6 taking it with, I mean, they actually don't. It's interesting. They don't top any of the normal stats that you would begin to look at. They spare medic deaths by 1. Like the kills leading 20ZC overall for the top frag, damage highest decided J. But overall, when you look at overall damage, I guess overall damage is the same, but they definitely lead the kills, so hats off to them.
Yeah. And again, even though it was a kind of a comeback, it still was a 4-3. So the logs, makes sense that the logs are pretty close, it's a game of inches, as they say.
Like we do have Soapy here, though.
Yeah, Soapy here.
Hello.
What up,
Congratulations
Soapy?
on your 2 victories. It's quite the doubleheader.
Metalworks is a bad map, man.
Yeah, some people love it, some people hate it.
Map.
I'm not a fan of Metalworks. I don't like the shadows. You can always see people through walls.
There's no sunlight.
That too.
Yeah.
There's no vitamin D.
So, first I want to talk a little bit about double headers. I assume that it was kind of just like a convenience thing from not playing the earlier map, or do you think there's some convenience with like getting it all done playing the same team in like official matches right back to back?
I mean, we kind of just put this match off. I think it kind of just happened as a double header because like we just like kind of put the match off. I'm not gonna say we did it because we weren't even the ones that rescheduled it in the first place, but yeah, I don't know. I think like I kind of like just getting it all over with in one go. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Kind of feels like playoffs, getting the 2 maps right in a row, back to back.
Yeah, it kind of gets you warmed up to playoffs, I guess, because the matches are shorter now because the config. Speaking of the config, there's some pretty funny little resets we had.
I was
hold
gonna
it, come
ask
back.
you, what was the mobile environment like
I'm
when
so mad.
when the second one happened?
They're so mad. I was so mad. I was like, I was whenever we were paused, like right before the config just like ended or whatever, I was like, all right, did you guys fix the config? Is it like set up? And they're like, yeah, we did.
Oh, I saw that in chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, okay.
Lol guy literally asked, like, is this the right config? And no one
Yeah.
said anything.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, hopefully
It
lesson
worked out in the
learned.
end.
Obviously, with what you said about Metalworks, process was overall your team's map pick. What was the leading thing that made you guys, or at least maybe even you can speak for yourself, way more confident and comfortable with process than it comes to Metalworks?
So Metalworks is a map that our playstyle just with the way where we snowball a lot, and it doesn't really. It's Metalworks is a match that if you're like a snowballing team, you can get punished for it a lot. While on the flip side, maps like Snakewater Process, Sunshine, like a lot of the default 5 CPs that you see most typically, you'll actually benefit from snowballing. So we kind of played like both ends of the spectrum tonight.
But despite obviously having a preference for process and maybe or at least a little bit of personal disdain for Metalworks, you guys were actually pretty dominant for the Metalworks mid. I don't know if you expect that necessarily, but in hindsight, what do you think was the main thing that actually led to so much success? And do you think the fact that Metalworks went as it did was any sort of surprise at all?
The Metalworks mids, I think me and Kobe kind of just had to be a little more like active and more proactive in like what's going on mids. Like in the last in our last like scrims and matches, we've just had like terrible Metalworks mids just because like me and Kobe don't we just like don't like bomb. We don't have good like bomb timings, or like our team doesn't support our bombs, or whatever the reason is. It's just that's kind of like the main fix we had is our bombs are just like better.
So I think with obviously it being a doubleheader, it's gonna be the first time that people have really seen either of you two play, and you've had a lot of time to play versus each other, I would assume, in scrims and stuff to like get a feel of the other team. Would you say that either of these matches was like a decent representation of how things would normally go when you scrim them, or scrims a totally different beast when it comes to the match that you just played versus 20ZC?
We actually don't really scrim them all that often. Because it's we have a Thursday weekly with them, so we'll scrim them for at most like 1 or 2 maps, like a
Because then you have to
week.
go to your own matches yourself.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mystery. Also, they had Howard instead of High Five, which is like a pretty different dynamic because High Five's a pretty like he's a very he plays tight on the beam for a flank scout. It's like it's a lot different from what Howard does. Howard is like very far away from the beam a lot, and he's always like I don't know, he's always pushing behind. He's very hard to play against sometimes.
Howard's a
Just 'cause-
salvager.
Yeah, he's a little psychopath sometimes. He'll he has
Do you
he
think?
has a good movement, good name, so
Do you
he's hard
think
to play against.
not playing against them like that much, maybe just the pre-games, is more of a benefit for your team to kind of hide stuff and have it be a surprise, or is it more of a detriment in a way and make things harder that you don't really know what to expect? You can't really create any hard counters. You kind of just get what little bit you get on whatever their map match is, and that's about it.
So this team has a lot of people from Witness Gaming, so we had like a decent idea on like how they were gonna play, like especially with like their mid strats and like a lot of like their like sack and counter sack tendencies and like their pressures and stuff like that. Um, so I don't think that really played that much of a factor in in us for this match. Like, I think it's kind of whatever, honestly. Because we played against this this kind of group of players for like 4 or 5. What is this? Our 4th season, I think, together as G6.
Something like that.
Yeah, so we played against them for like a while. So I don't really think it has a big effect on the outcome of the match.
It's fair. Eventually, all the secrets you would have are kind of your hands shown eventually anyway. So
Yeah, unless they come up with some new stuff.
that's true. Different team strats or styles or whatever, but was obviously a very, very long and nice. And there was a lot of gameplay that was to be had. But when you think about the dominance on processes, the slow climb back that was Metalworks, any like shout outs or thoughts to MVPs on who really carried the torch for your team and did a lot of work?
MVP for process, I would definitely say Logan, but for sure overall MVP of the night, especially on Metalworks, is Lil Guy. Lil Guy's we were just like, I don't want to say we were crumbling, because like I never like, obviously you never like back down in a match. Like you always have that, like, if you're a top invite team, you're competitive, right? You think you can win like every match, so you
Yeah.
never really give up. But Lil Guy kind of just he was able to fix a lot of our issues, so I give the MVP to Lil Guy.
All right. Well, you got some good matches out of the way. It might be smooth sailing. You might be kind of locked in for first seed here. We'll see how the rest of the matches go. As there are only 1 or 2 weeks left, but there's only so many teams left to play in them. So once again, congratulations on your victory. But that's probably going to be time to wrap it up. Any final thoughts or shouts before we wrap up the stream?
Yeah, man. Shout out to all my teammates, of course. Shout out to all my ex-teammates, 2 of which being in this match, Howard and Zilly. You guys are awesome. Shout out to Rakuso. Shout out Drift to Maxi Krung. And I think that's it. Oh, shout out to our sponsor, Torquart.
What about you,
Yeah,
Space?
that's it.
Yeah, shout out to all the viewers sticking with us for the doubleheader. Shout out to both teams playing good match. I like the doubleheaders too, so shout out to the doubleheaders. And yeah, shout out to Shopie's legions of fans out there.
My what?
All your fans.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
all your-
fans.
yeah, all
I
your
thought
fans.
you said hands.
Oh no, fans. I mean, maybe you do have a lot of fans. I don't know.
Some players don't have hands.
3
You look at their
hands.
gameplay, and it's
Yeah,
questionable.
Very true.
Yeah, my pocket scout. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, well, definitely shout out to all the viewers. Definitely shout out to all the people that are going to be playing and participating and watching in the Map Cup that is happening this weekend. We've talked about it after almost every single match to hype it up and make sure everyone knows that this is going to be the thing that lets you put in your 2 cents on what you think the map pool should be in future seasons. So get your team, get some sort of pug team, at least, have some sort of presence if you are available this weekend. I think signups are actually maybe over at this point, question mark, but either way, you can still watch, see how things go. You can at least have an idea of what transpired to allow such opinions to be formed on the 3 maps that are in the Map Cup. So definitely check it out. This weekend starts on the 5th. I think it bleeds into the Sunday as well. Over I think it's the afternoon, starts at 3 EST and goes a little bit onward as into the night's beginning. But I think that's overall going to be it for us. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch more TF2, I think there's a match tomorrow. I think it's one of G6's. Oh, is it not? Okay, reschedule. Never mind. Probably no match tomorrow. You never know, things pen and reschedule around, but there's always the Highlander that happens every Monday, so you have that fail safe if you can't wait until the next matches come around the following week. But for tonight, that'll be it for us. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Jarrett, casting with Space Ghost with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.
Good night.